Alright. Ooh, looking at all the tiles. Stat! Stat, Tavern! Alright, hello and welcome to Crabby D&D. I am here with my players. Sudz!
Hello.
Sam!
Hello.
Simon!
Hello.
Jamie!
Hello.
And Infernal.
Hello.
That was very loud. I don't know what you just did there. We are currently at Harlan down. He said he'll be joining later on, and we'll be losing a Sam later at some point. And they'll let us know when.
Headaches are bad, man.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. They really do. So yes. But yes, hello and welcome to Crabby D&D. I am here with all of my wonderful players. I don't know why that's turned off. Okay, there we go. Something wasn't working on the stream. 80 then. So, usual announcements. Thank you to Sasha for all the artwork that's been put through, all the beautiful artwork. I've just put all the tiles in for all the for the upcoming events, various things that I'll need. So, looking forward to using those. Thank you to Tabletop Audio for the free service you provide, whether it be background sounds or something more intricate for precise moments. They have it all. Well, not all of it. A little bit lacking on sci-fi, but I don't use that, so it's fine. For me, anyway. And any maps that are here are made on incarnate.com. You can go and check them out. I do take commissions. They have recently released their new Discord. I will hopefully be posting some of these things on there soon. Excellent. So, I think that's everything. So without further ado, let us begin. Hold on. This one.
Oh?
Is what?
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 What's
that there?
happening here?
I don't know why that's there. Alright. Thank you.
Well, what?
Someone hid the Skin Scribe preview tile that I showed you guys under the D100 for some reason.
I was just moving along over here, and I saw that D100
Yeah.
was lifted up, and something was under it. I'm
Yeah,
like,
and
what?
I was like, what? There is? It's like, okay. Yeah, thank you. Without further ado, let us begin tonight's episode. So, last session, our party of adventurers, Elsyan, Queglod, Sasha, Malcom, Bern, and Rook, went about their various bits and pieces and business, travelling to various locations, acquiring various goods that they needed for their adventuring going forward, in preparation for the Prince of Blood fight, now the King of Blood. While Sasha and Rook stayed at home, improving Sasha's armour, coating it in layers of adamantine and preparing for the days to come, the rest of the party travelled around, acquiring blue quartz for Elsyan's cloak, allowing him to truly flourish it with a glittering sparkle.
I'm fancy now, bitches.
Yes, you are. The rest of the party went around purchasing various things, exploring town, and requesting the aid of Oregon itself from the Emperor. Doing so, they acquired a few items, some banishment rods, which Chris has just realised he forgot to give the description to the party, but they do banishment for the sake of this. Which, when activated, will banish a single creature to a harmless plane for 1 minute. The rod can be destroyed or otherwise dispelled, but otherwise it remains in place. Should a creature be summoned, it is gone forever. With this new acquired information and preparation for the oncoming fight, the party gathered themselves and teleported once more, heading to the place known as Blackhold, a large library dedicated to the Raven Queen by her followers, and put in place for their use and her service. With this and the party preparing for such an adventure, they teleported there to the front of it. Before them stands the beautiful double doors, reinforced iron on a darkened oak, the surrounding area covered in a thin layer of mist, and in front of them the two massive raven statues that sit in front of the door. Behind them stands the small monolith, standing about 4 feet off the ground, a single stone column which they remember otherwise hides the button in through the doors. On top of one of these statues is a raven. As the raven looks, it flies off into the air, and the two statues turn their heads and begin to stand. I would like everyone to roll me initiative, please, including Rook. But you are the other statue.
Oh.
Disconnected before even joining.
That's not good.
Yeah, that's right.
17.
What do I add to initiative?
Your dexterity
Your dex.
modifier.
Oh, bloody hell.
I can't imagine it's good.
I've got a 1.
You rolled a natural 1?
No, I rolled a 2 and then...
And then took the minus.
Ah, they got negative dex. Dex saves, guys.
There it is.
Dex save spells. Go, go, go.
Go, fireball, fireball.
No,
I think that
no, because I
information
know
will help you.
because I know that some constructs heal from fire.
Oh yeah, true. Oh fuck, it's a construct, I forgot. Probably gonna be immune to my bullshit.
Could be immune.
Because
Your
I know
bullshit,
it's
my
good.
bullshit. My bullshit, man. My
This is
bullshit.
probably gonna make them immune to my ethereal incineration. I already know it.
Guess you'll have to find out.
You have troubles. They're going to be immune to my psychic shit unless they've got some decent intelligence and they're constructs, so they don't.
So, 25 to 20.
27?
Natural 20, I take it?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, 27.
Alright. So, 20 to 15. Actually, I should probably roll for the other one. Okay, that's not too bad. Okay, 15 to 10.
Oh, sorry,
Uh,
17. I didn't
Ah.
mention. Someone sent me a message. I apologise.
That's 18 on me.
18 on you.
13, 30.
13. Queglod?
5.
And Rook got a 1. Or Rook statue got a 1.
Nice.
So, top of the initiative order. You have all just teleported into this space. You have Malcom, you have Queglod, you have Elsyan, and you have Bern. Bern just teleporting you all there. 2 missing party members not here. As before you, standing on either side of the doorway here. Whoops. The doorway otherwise lying behind this. The doorway lying behind this, and the button just here to enter. The 2 raven statues otherwise loom over, their large stone joints creaking as they stare and look at each of you.
Wait, where's the button?
Behind you.
That's the button to go through the door.
That's the button to open the door, yes.
Oh, maybe that's why.
Let's change this theme. I would take something a little
Yeah,
more.
that probably would do it. I'm surprised as to why we're this close.
Do I have any other ones that I could use for this? Yeah, this sounds better. So Malcom, you're first in the initiative order. You stand before these things as they loom over you, looking down.
Can, just out of curiosity, can I tell if they look like they're interested in a particular person? Like, are they both looking at the same person?
They're looking towards your party in general. Given your position in this and looking at it, if it's looking at Queglod, they're looking through the front 2. If they're looking at you, they're looking through the front 2. If they're looking at one of the front 2, it could be either of you at the back. So it's hard to say.
Okay. Well, I'm going to step over here.
Mhm.
And I'm going to try and press the button, see if the button will work.
You go over, you kind of go over to where you remember the button otherwise being. Roll me an investigation check.
Investigation. What's my investigation? It is... Okay.
Pretty good.
21.
You look over the surface of the stone. You find the button. You press it, and you hear as the doors begin to slowly creak open.
Does it look like it changed anything with them?
No. You turn and you look. The two statues otherwise dismount from their podiums. Elsyan. Your turn.
So just to be clear, what am I seeing in front of me?
You're seeing two large raven statues that have otherwise seen these individuals show up. The button has been pressed and the door is opening, and the two of them have just stepped down off of the podiums, kind of lifting out their large wings. They don't seem aggressive yet, but they are moving, which isn't what they did before.
Okay, right. I think this calls for a held action. To ready an action. What did I close that sheet? Bear with me.
Bruh.
Bruh. Accent. Bruh.
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 The bro bear says bruh instead of rah.
Bruh.
Bruh.
Well, if they do start getting violent, I'd like to. I'll hold an action to do Rare Frost. Keep it simple.
Okay. Do you wish to move at all before you do this?
This was my second teleport today, right?
This is your second teleport to here, yeah. Oh no, this is your first time teleporting. It's your second time being here. Everyone's been here at least
That's my
once.
first time
I think he means from his first spell
I
slot.
teleport to Oregon, though.
Oh yes, you teleported to Oregon, and then you spent your second spell slot teleporting to here.
Yeah, so I have no 7th and 8th.
Good to know. Okay. Okay, you
That's
take a
why-
step back, you otherwise kind of hold the spell there, your hand kind of coiling in frost as the two of them step down. As it is...
I think I had to pick a particular target, so I'll pick the red
Okay.
one. So I've got a clear line for it.
In such a case, Jamie, you were the red one, correct?
Mm-hmm.
In which case, it is the green one's turn.
Oh no, I picked the wrong one.
You watch as the raven statue otherwise turns towards you. Its claws open up, its wings spread as it crouches ever so slightly and moves towards Bern and Queglod. As it does so, you watch as it moves forward. You watch as this black kind of heavy mist begins to form against the edges of it, as it begins to slowly let off this mystic steam. I would like Queglod and Bern to both roll me wisdom saving throws, please.
Ooh.
Yay.
Natural 20.
17.
There we go.
Okay, you both succeed. As you feel the mist begin to slowly coil over you, you feel almost this strange sensation as you otherwise hold yourself there, kind of slightly holding your head. You feel the world around you almost slow down before it picks back up again. The raven statue otherwise looks at the two of you, its claws kind of bared and ready. You watch as the two eyes otherwise gleam this flash of red as it looks around at the rest of you. It averts its attention away from Queglod. Next, Bern.
Was that aggressive, or what was it trying to do there?
It seemed to be something aggressive. It was trying to inflict some form of effect on you two.
But it didn't look like he was trying to attack us.
It hasn't attacked you yet, no. It's trying to inflict some form of an effect, but then it otherwise looked around the rest of you.
And I assume the other two were holding their actions.
Well, but Elsyan's holding his action on the red one if any signs of aggression are shown.
Oh, I didn't see the map here. Oops.
Yeah.
Okay, so one of them came over to us, and then the other one just looked around.
It hasn't had its turn yet.
Okay, so this one came us. Okay. I will. Are these things considered undead? No.
Probably not, no.
Yeah, they're constructs. Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll hold an action. If they do attack us, I will stab the one that attacks.
Okay. Are you staying there?
I mean, if it doesn't seem to be attacking, yeah.
Okay. You stay there after the effect otherwise slowly kind of emanates off of you. You, okay. You otherwise hold your action there, kind of. Which weapon are you holding?
Darkspin.
Okay. You hold Darksbane there, otherwise having it hover next to you in preparation, kind of this strange tension between all of you seeing what's going on here. Okay. Queglod. You see the statues
Okay.
before you. They move up. This one otherwise giving off some form of energy, and before kind of averting its gaze from you, looking at Bern and the rest of your party.
Okay, it doesn't seem to be paying any attention to me.
No.
Okie dokie. I'm going to move over here.
Mhm.
And I'm going to hold forth Nightmaker.
Okay.
As I hold it aloft, I will call out to these statues. Yeah. I'm Queglod Prill. I am a servant of the Raven Queen. You will yield before me and my companions. And I will cast. Just want to check. Is it right? Yeah, Shape Wraith.
Okay.
To call forward Behold.
Okay.
Who's not actually going to attack anything yet.
Okay.
Big
He
boy.
is going to. He's going to appear here with his axe in hand, but not immediately threatening.
Where? Here, you said?
Yeah, there.
Okay. Oh, sorry there.
Okay.
Okay. You otherwise hold
Yeah,
out Nightmaker, and
That looks like Behold.
you watch as the energy and mist otherwise falls, splitting out of Nightmaker, pooling to the side, as you see the spectral image of Behold standing there, his axe bared, kind of watching and looking at the two of them, holding his action. The statues note the presence and ignore it. Rook,
Right.
you have your orders.
Okay. The ability to fly, is that action or is that just normal movement?
That's just normal movement.
Okay. I'm going to fly just above everyone and land here.
Okay. You watch as the large raven statue beats its wings, turning up a ton of dust and mist around it as it flies up and over, landing behind Elsyan and Malcom.
Awesome.
Wait, so has it just jumped up and landed in front of me?
It jumped up and landed behind you.
Oh, that'd be Rare Frost.
Okay.
Okay, I'll be back in 1 minute.
No worries.
I get to the sixth sense that this is a bad idea.
So you're casting
But I
Ray
still-
of Frost.
Yep.
Okay.
It's an attack roll for Rare Frost, isn't it?
Yep, it is indeed an attack roll.
So this will be at disadvantage because it's a ranged
in
attack
melee.
roll.
Yep. No.
That is. Ooh.
Maybe actually. I can't remember what your modifier is.
My custom mod is my spell attack modifier is it's a 10, so that's a 16.
16. You otherwise, as it otherwise gets close, you fire off the frost, and you watch as the frost hits and shatters as its wings beat by, as it lands behind. No hit, unfortunately.
No hit. Well,
You
I
said you're
think I've
doing the
pissed
same
it.
as me, Rook.
Yep.
Okay, Elsyan and Bern, or Elsyan and Malcom, please make me wisdom saving throws.
That's my wisdom mod. Okay, +8. Let's go. That's a 26.
I got a 22.
Okay. The two of you are perfectly fine as you feel the energy from this mist begin to flow around you. You feel it almost begin to cling to you as the world around you begins to slightly almost distort before you kind of maintain your focus. Okay. And that ends your turn. Malcolm.
Mhm.
Well, seeing as these things aren't gonna stop, even after what Queglod said, give me one sec to pull up dragon things. I'm turning into a dragon. Just seeing which one I'm turning into.
Oh yes, you also have a baby crystal dragon with you.
Oh yes.
Who does stuff at the end of your turn. So actually, I need to roll a wisdom saving throw. You need to roll a wisdom saving throw for Shattercrest, please.
I have no idea what is.
You have the crystal wormling stats, I believe.
Yeah, I couldn't find them. That's the only issue. I couldn't find them in the chat thing because I didn't pin them.
Ah, okay. Let me see if I can find them real quick.
Okay, I will roll. You should be okay.
What's the total?
It's 17 plus whatever.
Should be fine. Hold on. Nope. I need to find them in here. In here? I think this is the right one. Scroll down.
I'm back.
Nope. Okay. Alright, yeah.
Cool.
Assuming its modifier is the same as a red, that should be fine. Yeah.
I'll double check a red real quick.
Yeah. It should be fine against the
I
DC.
succeeded on a 17, so it should be fine.
Yeah, it rolled a natural 17, so it should be fine.
Alright.
I'm assuming from the fact that
It flew over. They're not.
Yeah, it flew over and then stopped, emitting the same kind of mystic gas, but outside of that, it didn't. They don't seem to have stopped.
okay, so they haven't stopped, but they're not overtly attacking.
Correct.
Interesting.
Elsyan has shot a ray of frost at one of them so far. Didn't hit, but just notable that when an attempt was made.
I guess. Let's see. I just am double checking this still.
That's fine.
I'm just gonna be safe and I'm gonna go with a young black.
Okay. Does it have a negative?
Negative to what?
A wisdom save?
No.
Then it's fine then. Yeah, because 17 succeeded.
I mean, no, I meant for me.
Oh, okay. Oh, I see. You're turning into a young black. Ah.
Yeah, I'm turning into a young black. I'm being safe and turning into a young black.
Okay.
Young black dragon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Elsyan, please roll me a strength save and do the same for Shattercrest, please.
I would like to try and do something if I can.
Okay, that's fine. It's just because you're larger, so you're gonna be pushing either
19.
Elsyan aside or Shattercrest. So go ahead and roll me for Shattercrest, please. One of them is gonna be pushed to.
I was gonna try and push Elsyan.
Hey,
I want to try and get
What?
him away from this.
Okay.
That's
So,
all.
and what was Shattercrest's total?
Give me one sec to pull up a young red real quick.
Young red is +4.
Or, not young red. What? +4?
Or red dragon Wormling is +4.
18.
Okay, so Elsyan wins, so Shattercrest is pushed out of range. Alright. As Malcom otherwise kind of grabbing Lighthouse in hand, you watch as the red exterior of his skin begins to turn black as these scales begin to form across him. His horns kind of curl down and around to a front point, and a large finned scale and wings rise out from his new draconic form.
I'm going to say to Shattercrest, just try and stay safe.
Okay. Shattercrest is otherwise going to fly, moving away from all of this.
Cool.
And keep a distance. Gonna hold action to dash if need be to move away if they try to go for her.
Now, I got a question. With the thing that I wanted to try and do, would it be an action or bonus action?
What's the thing you want to try and do?
I wanted to try and, scoop Elsyan into, my claw, kind of like in a protective thing, and move him back a tile.
That would be considered a push, which would be a grapple. It should be an action.
Okay. Well, good luck.
Elsyan, it's your turn.
Gee. Thanks. um. Well, I don't like my position within this company. I don't like anything that's going on here. Sam double checks the spell quickly and decides yes. Yes. Elsyan is going to move around to this side of the boy.
Okay.
And then Elsyan is going to thunderstep away from the boy.
Okay. Red is you, I believe. Rook.
Mr. Timer.
Yes.
Yes. Go ahead and roll me for Thunderstep. What save is it? Constitution?
It's a con save, yes.
Okay.
Con.
Yep.
Right.
Go ahead and roll that. And because of your magic resistance, roll it with advantage.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's +5.
So 15. No, I believe that fails against your DC,
15,
Elsyan.
15 does fail, so
Yeah,
as you
so
might imagine.
go ahead and roll the damage.
3d10 thunder damage.
Ooh, nice.
21 damage.
Okay.
Just for future reference, how does Sentinel work against something like that?
It doesn't against spells specifically that teleport.
So if someone did that to Rook, he couldn't stop them.
No,
No.
that's what Mage Initiates or Mage Slayers for.
Right, I see. Good
Because
to
if
know.
you hit them and down them before they leave, then they don't get to teleport.
They can't teleport if they're dead.
Right, no, fair.
Teleport, but you have no legs.
Teleport, but you're bleeding out. And no fingers to cast somatic components.
Oh no!
What a
Damage did I take?
shame.
Honestly, I think trying to teleport while losing consciousness would probably be more dangerous than
Mm.
going down in front of the enemy.
Cast Dimension Door ends up inside of a rock, and you just see like
No,
Gmod
no.
physics as its head flails around on the surface.
See, you teleport away and you just teleport different body parts across the planes.
Oh.
Like some fire elemental just ends up on their table while eating dinner, just an arm, and what the fuck?
Dear God.
Ah, gift from
And
the
that's
Lord.
how we lost. And that's how we lost our house.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm in prison. And I'm teleported into my living room, and
Ah.
they did not believe me.
Okay.
How much
so,
damage did I take?
21.
Okay.
Yeah. As you watch as Elsyan just kind of maneuvers around, snaps his fingers in that moment, kind of this crackling energy thooms around, otherwise striking against the surface of the golem before Elsyan appears not too far away from the rest. Okay. I'm just going to move Malcom a bit further away so that I don't get confused. Okay. Is that the end of your turn, Elsyan?
Well, can't do nothing else. Actually, I can move further away.
You
It's
went
300
5,
feet I can
10,
move.
15. Was it from here or?
No. Sorry, I should have.
Or you mean from
I-
Thunderstep?
From Thunderstep, sorry.
Yeah. Given the mist, you probably can see in the general vicinity, not too far away.
Mm.
Because it's not a
But yeah,
heavy mist, but
God. Oh no, it can be heard 300 feet away.
yeah,
I'm just double checking this. Sorry.
that's fine.
It's 90 feet away. I can teleport myself.
Yeah.
So
So within the range that I previously designated would be
so
fine.
just
Okay. You otherwise teleport over there, kind of against one of the podiums at this point, as you otherwise kind of prepare yourself there. It is now this one's turn. Bern. Neither of them have attacked yet, but they have been attacked.
When I said it, I specified if we're being attacked.
If you're
so
being
I don't
attacked,
think-
yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
One fucked.
This one is going to move over here, and it gets its ability back. You watch as it otherwise prepares itself, and you watch as this mist gathers up around it as it releases it again into the area around. Make wisdom saving throw, please, Malcom, as you are in dragon form, but you keep your wisdom saving throw,
I do.
and Bern. I'd like the two of you to make me wisdom saving throws, please. You've one of your luckies today, if I remember correctly, Bern, so you should have 2 left.
Yeah,
just for now.
okay, not 20.
Okay. And social for...
I got higher than the last one.
Okay.
25, I think.
The two of you are fine as the mist otherwise fades around you. You feel it taking hold for a moment, Bern.
Can I change my held action?
No, unfortunately not.
Not my turn yet.
No.
Not my turn yet.
No.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, your held action was when they attack. They haven't attacked yet. So.
No, I thought my turn went by, sorry.
Oh, no. Just comes up in a moment.
Yeah, that's fine.
As it otherwise stands there and looks around, it again prepares. Looking around, it sees Nightmaker. It sees Behold. Doesn't react to either of them. Continues to look at the 2 figures next to it. Okay. Bern, it is your turn now.
So they've been attacked?
They've been attacked. They haven't attacked. So far all they've done is release this strange mist and otherwise move close to your party.
And I guess they wouldn't have had a chance to attack if they're just trying to use their ability.
Seems like it.
Is the recharged? Damn it, Chris. Why did you have to use the recharge?
I'm rolling a d6. It happened.
I wanted to see what it would do if it didn't have its ability. I'll change my held action to if Queglod attacks, I'll attack.
Okay. Sounds good. Queglod, speaking of which.
Okay. I was hoping that Behold being here would make things happen, but that doesn't seem to be happening. Regardless, I'm going to have him move up here.
Okay.
Malcom, press the button. Is the door now open, or is
It's
it
opening.
opening?
It's not a fast door.
No.
No. As it is a set of double doors that are otherwise pulled open with chains, it takes a bit. You've probably got another round and a half to go until it opens. So, when it comes back round to initiative 20 for the 3rd time.
Okay. From when we went here before, was there then a large corridor?
Yes. Long corridor and a second set of doors.
Okay, so
You also know that the inside of it was lined with glyphs of warding.
Yeah, so no way of yelling to someone to get their attention. Okay. That's annoying. Well, I assume there's nothing special to these constructs from witch size or anything.
Looking at them with Witch Sight, you can see that they otherwise have layers of abjuration magic coated around them, along with just basic conjuration and enchantment for the purposes of maneuverability and attacking. Outside of that, the only thing which you pick up would be that of your party, and that's it. Nothing catches your attention on that regard.
Okay then.
I'm back. Did anything happen?
So, Behold's moved up. Is he attacking, or is he just moving up for now?
Behold is going to attack, yes, the green one.
Okay. So go ahead and make me 2 attack rolls with Behold's stats. And Bern, I will give this permission to be your held action to attack, given the state of it being Queglod's creature.
That's fine.
Okay. So you can go ahead and roll as well.
Is it just from this way, or can I go from this way?
It would be from the closest direction from you, given the held action, so...
That's fine.
Okay, so...
and the other one attack, and that is... I'm not gonna do it. That's a 10 total.
10
26 for me.
Okay. The 10 total, as Behold otherwise swings in with the axe. I think we need to update his stats with your proficiency, actually, that being said. But,
Possibly.
yeah.
But again, I rolled a 4.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah, probably not. As he otherwise
in
swings
this instance.
As he otherwise swings in with the axe, you watch as the spectral energy is almost distorted as it goes to strike the creature, failing to do so. As the attack is made, kind of glancing off of the hardened surface and not quite connecting in the material form. At this moment, Bern immediately kind of swings round with Darksbane as it goes in for a strike, otherwise digging in heavily into the stone, leaving a nice cut. Go ahead and roll damage.
That is 24.
24 damage. Good. The blade sinks in deep and pulls itself free.
Does this proc extra attack?
It can attack a second time. Yeah, held action is just your full action, so yeah, second
Okay,
attack. So go ahead and roll for another attack. Yeah,
That's a hit.
yeah, it hits, but it doesn't crit because it's not a fiend.
Yeah, it's not a fiend.
No, but you still get the full damage from it.
Oh, I still have the description of my spear on the devastation. I was like, wait a minute. I'm dead. No.
No, just scrolling up to where Darksbane is.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That's okay. That's a pretty-
34.
34. Okay. 34 points of damage. That's a big hit. Okay. All right. Blade sinks deep a second time, otherwise cutting into a portion of it. You see almost this slight orb in the center of their chest, almost like a red crystal or orb, as the blade sinks in, and as it otherwise pulls free, the stone around it begins to mildly heal. Not in a regenerative fashion, but in a more of a protective, shifting, stone-shaped kind of way. Okay. That is your held action, and that is Queglod. That is your reaction, by the way, using your held action there. Queglod, what would you like to do?
Oh, it takes my reaction to use all that?
To use a held action, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm still going to move on my turn.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, everyone get ready to just get through the doors. There doesn't seem to be much point in fighting these things.
Cool.
Okay.
Actually, I'm going to move here so that nobody has any difficulty in past me.
Are you
Okay.
using an action to do anything?
Not at this time.
Okay, Jamie.
Okay. Okay. 5, 10.
You'd also like to roll your recharge as well. Once it,
Oh, yeah.
so you use the ability. Nope.
Okay.
This one you cannot target.
No. I was trying to work out with this. What? How much have I moved? I was here.
Well, you were here. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Yeah.
I have moved 30. Right, cool.
Yeah. You also
I
have
am
your fly
trying-
speed, so you could have technically gone over. But
Good, yep. I'm gonna attack Infernal. I'm gonna attack Bern.
go ahead and make
Has
me.
he attacked you?
Bruh.
Go ahead and make me 2 attack rolls with advantage, please. Okay. Go ahead and roll me the damage for that then, please.
Yes, that is...
Doesn't need to say what the attack to hit is.
You need one more of those. Okay, that's a hit. 27 and 25 to hit.
27 and 20.
Hang on.
Okay.
Yeah,
Plus
fair.
11 to hit. Good.
Bear with me.
Mhm.
What is it I'm meant to be using here?
The
Is it
claw.
just- Oh, it is, yeah.
Yeah, it's just the claw.
Plus 6, right,
Yeah.
okay.
3d12 plus 6. Yeah.
Where are you going?
3d12?
That's first attack.
Okay.
Okay, calm down.
Bern, you take 31 points of slashing damage as the large claw rakes in and digs into your flesh, getting past the steel exterior of your ethereal form, and you are grappled.
Need to,
Can ye not?
Oh, rolling temporary hit points.
Yeah, fair.
32. And the second attack hits. Go ahead and roll damage for the second one. Okay.
How much damage? 31 was the first
31 for the first one and 27 for the second one. As the second strike comes in, it swings in, digging into you, again hurting. As it tears the claws away, you feel almost this dense pulse through your body. It hurts. Okay, and you are currently grappled by this one. As it has you in one of its claws, the claws dug into your flesh.
I hit the green one, right?
You hit the green one, yes, and the red one just attacked you. Okay. Malcom. You just saw this one go up to Bern, and it currently has its claws dug into him, and the other one just tearing away at portions of him.
Is it possible to counter grapple something?
You can grapple the grappler, but it won't help Bern at all. You can attempt to pull him off, but that will do damage to him.
To who?
To Bern. If you try to pull him off of another creature's grapple, it will do damage to him as it strikes him. Because basically you're doing a tug of war with somebody where, in this instance, it has its claws buried into Bern. Tearing him off will do damage to him.
Well, I mean, I can't just leave Bern here, so I'm gonna try and get this green one's attention.
Okay.
Not much else I can really do.
How are you going to gain its attention?
I'm gonna attack it, since...
Go ahead and make me 2 attack rolls, please.
3.
3 attack rolls, sorry. Okay. They all hit.
Cool.
One is a natural 20. Starting from top of order, it because otherwise undeclared, it goes from top of order.
Yeah.
So first by 2 claws.
Yeah. Alright, so I need... Are they immune to acid damage?
You'll find out.
Okay. I was just curious, just to not
Just
roll it.
if you don't need to roll anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So 2, 6 of those, and 1 of them. Okay, so I need 2 of these.
Five of those.
No, I need 6.
6 of
these.
those.
It's natural 20,
Oh yeah.
and 1 of these.
Nice.
The D8 is
Acid.
acid.
Go ahead.
Yes. Oh, wait, is it? Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And what's the modifier added to this?
And, +4.
So that'd be plus 12 total. So that takes that to 49 points of damage to the... Which one? The green one or the red
The
one?
green one.
Okay.
I want to get its attention so it doesn't attack.
Okay. As you otherwise wail into it, biting against the exterior, the acid melting portions of the stone and the 2 claws raking into it either side, tearing away, you kind of feel this strange essence as you drag through it, or as you proceed to drag through it, it's looking hurt. It's slowly trying to repair itself to maintain structure, but is otherwise suffering at this time.
Okay. And then I guess, I will just key point flurry of blows it.
Okay, go ahead. Make 2 more attack rolls, please. There's your 2 claw attacks. You otherwise bring them in, going for 2 strikes. What's your plus to hit?
Believe. With the plus to hit with the dragon, does it add mine?
It uses your proficiency instead of its. In this instance, it is. So it's usually a +7, which is with a +3, so you get an additional +2. So that puts it at +9. So the 8 hits on a 17, but the other one misses.
Okay, so 2
+4. Okay, 10 damage. Again, you rake into it with one final claw. As you swing in with the other one, it misses, otherwise unable to cut through.
Would it be possible to also do a loud roar to try and see if I can get anybody's attention from inside?
Okay, I'll say that as part of flavor. Go ahead and roll me a Constitution check.
Constitution check. Nope.
You go to roar, and in that instance, you watch as the raven statue lifts up with its claws and grabs you by the lower neck, stopping you from making any sound. Shattercrest is going to proceed to dash, moving over to where the door is.
Yes.
Okay. End of your turn, Elsyan.
Bye.
You see it has a hold on Bern. And the other one's taking a lot of damage from the black dragon wailing into it.
Yeah, okay. Let's see, shall we? I'm thinking of using Mind Slither on the one that's holding Bern. But right this second, apparently my brain's not allowing me to remember what any spells do. Next saving throw. No, not that one. Alexa, shut up. Said next, not stupid thing.
Don't call Alexa stupid.
Don't call that robot whatever I like, alright? No, fuck it, let's go with good old classic brain frazzle.
Okay.
As I'll have the red one be my standard, then and obviously hop to the green one.
Okay. As you otherwise cast the spell, you shoot out the psychic energy as it goes across the battlefield, striking against the surface of it. You watch as it passes through and over, having no effect.
Elsyan holds out a middle finger.
It takes no notice.
I don't like those things, Queglod. I don't like them. I want me to mate them and kill them.
Okay, so that is the end of your turn.
Yes. I am also painfully unequipped for this fight.
Okay. Move into the hallway. You see the door is getting close to open enough where you can move through it. You can see in the way behind, you can see the beginnings of the dark stone corridor with the torches kind of emanating some light. One more round and you'll be able to move through. Okay. It is now my Raven Statue's turn. My Raven Statue, does it get its recharge back? No. It's going to take 2 attacks. One versus the Black Dragon and the other one versus Bern. Starting off with the one versus the Black Dragon. That is a 29 to hit.
Nah, that doesn't
The
hit.
one versus Bern is an 18 to hit. Bern?
Screw you!
Does that still hit?
Yes, also we can hear whatever that is that's playing.
Yes, I know. I would like it.
Oh
Okay.
no.
Okay. Malcom. You take 25 points of slashing damage and you are grappled as the claw reaches in, digging into your throat, holding you in place. You feel it begin to slowly strangle you as it holds you there. Kind of the iron grip of it as it holds you in place. And the other attack that hit Bern, which I should have rolled with advantage actually, saying that. Okay, doesn't matter, the number I rolled was higher. 29 points of slashing damage as it reaches down with its other claw, digging into you. It tears free a portion of your kind of your flesh, revealing kind of your beginning of your collarbone and shoulder muscles. The claw digging in as it does so. Okay, that is the end of its turn. Bern.
Alright, bro. Alright. Didn't want to do this. I won't do it.
Cast Ethereal Incineration, dies.
Yeah, just blows himself up.
I was considering using Disintegrate on one of them, but
And you and me both, bud. Well, don't have it for bad.
so this one's like almost dead, right?
It's wounded, but it's not. Doesn't look like it might be close to dead. It's been freshly injured.
Okay.
What are you doing?
I will. So I'm grappled by the red one, right?
Correct. You need to spend an action to break out of the grapple.
Okay. Fuck. Why do I not have my 7th and 8th level spell slot? Where?
Teleportation, boy.
Very true.
Alright. I need more payments, guys. This is not worth it.
Fuck you, we're cheap. Oh god, I shouldn't be allowed to speak.
How big is the room around us?
It's not a room, it's an open area.
We are
Open area.
outside.
You are outside.
Okay.
You know that about 400... If you remember from last time, about 400 feet from you to your west is a river. That's a little bit... or a creek that's a little bit way down in the mountains. And the rest of the area around here is mostly flat in this kind of large plateau area, with the exception of this section where the entrance lies.
If you're in melee with something, you have disadvantage on ranged spell attacks, right?
Yep.
Correct, yes.
Okay. Shit. Well,
Guess I'll die.
and you said it's a strength save to get rid of it?
It will be an athletics check versus its athletics to try and break free. It would be acrobatics as well if you weren't already grappled by it.
So it's athletics.
Athletics versus athletics, yes.
Okay. So +2 acres. However, I'm a professional gamer. I will use enhance ability with quicken spell on myself.
Okay.
Is he about to do a pro gamer move here?
Yeah, I mean, it depends. He's giving himself advantage on strength, I take it.
Yes, I will.
Okay.
I will try to get out
Check
of it.
you're using this to like escape the grapple, not
Yes.
throw it in the river, right?
You're not trying to suplex
Now
it,
that you
are you?
mention it, that is a pretty good idea.
Throw it down the stairs.
I can suplex it.
You can certainly try.
You
So,
suplex
this is a counter grapple.
Yeah, I'm trying to get out of the grapple.
Okay, Rook, go ahead and roll me a athletics check, which it's not proficient in, so it's just a strength check on your part.
Please roll. Yes! Yes!
Okay. Using your action, your bonus action, you kind of enhance yourself, the energy rising up through you as you otherwise feel stronger in that moment. You flex, you grab its claws, you tear it away from around your neck and torso.
Nope, Sentinel.
Sentinel, go ahead and make your attack roll, please. And if you fail, I will make my attack roll.
Has he moved? It's just a flat roll, isn't it?
It's a flat roll, yeah. Because
Cool.
he's moved out of our advantage.
Alright, yeah, of course. Oh, what if I push it here? I've got loads of things popping up.
Okay, so that is a 27 to hit.
I will use a reactionary move of laughing armor, please.
Okay. That is a what effect?
Oh wait, no, I won't need to use it because I'm gonna be sent back here, right? Yeah. And you can't make an attack, or can you as well?
I can as well, yeah. Unless he doesn't hit.
No, if he doesn't hit, then you can make one. But if he hits and stops me here, you don't get.
I don't get it, no.
Okay.
You casting Laughing Armor or no?
I'll use it, yeah.
Okay. Casting Laughing Armor, you'll take half damage. Go ahead and roll the damage, please.
Right.
You'll take half damage as you watch as the claw otherwise rakes down, as you watch as Bern tries to flee. You watch as it otherwise curves in and grabs him once again, this time around the waist, as you take 17 points of damage, halved to 8. And you are grappled once again.
Big brain play.
It was.
Look, Infernal, you tried, and we can appreciate that.
At least they don't have advantage against you anymore.
That was
For
my
now.
concentration.
Now is your concentration. Okay, so you're still got enhance ability up. I'll get you a concentration token for that. There you go. Right. Queglod. You look over and you watch as Bern immediately does a pro gamer move, breaking away from the grapple, turns, and you watch as with its other hand it reaches around and grabs Bern once again, stopping him from running away, as this thick, oily coat begins to cloak over him.
It is the red one that's done this, right?
Yep.
I can't remember which round though. Okay. Clearly, non-violence is off the table at this point, so.
Well,
Disintegration
I'm
found in
killing again.
Right.
Oh god.
Behold is going to have another go.
Okay, go ahead.
First of all. Still not great.
I mean, why
The
is
stats I
Behold,
currently have him down for. It's a 14.
why is Behold so dumb and not getting it?
What's his strength mod at the moment?
The moment he has a +6 to attack.
What's his strength mod?
He
Should
has
have
a
a
minus
+3?
1.
Oh, okay.
Well,
what's
he's a
his
race,
dex?
so
Sorry.
his current-
Yeah. Oh, that's right. He needs to be. Sorry, that's right. I need to alter his stats around so it uses strength, not dex for him.
Yeah, I was considering asking you about this, but
Yeah,
we-
no, that's fine. Something
I
that we can do.
didn't get around to it, so it's you know. Yeah, that would be a +2 with his current dex.
Okay, so in which case he should have a +5, so it should be an additional +3 on top of what he got. So +9 to hit, I believe, or +8 to hit.
Sure, that would make this a 16.
Unfortunately, no. That as he swings in, the
Yeah.
axe glances off of the edge of the stone surface as Behold's never really gotten used to this form.
Hmm.
We need to take Behold out for walks daily. We know this.
Damn it, why is Behold so dumb? He could get advantage very easily. His 6 intelligence is not doing him any favors.
This is
Look.
true.
Okay, he can counter Apple, and that's all that matters.
What's his attack roll? Plus Apple.
Oh,
That's fine. No,
Oh,
Behold is in the perfect position to grant advantage to his true ally, spiritual weapon.
the one
Alrighty
ally
then.
that matters.
I almost copy and pasted a method which I've got over here for some reason. Alright, you guys
I mean, I'll take it.
Spawns a method instead of spiritual weapon. Where did you come from?
Damn Beffets.
Okay. The scythe otherwise floats up into place. The Raven Queen's kind of sigil carved across the edge of its blade. Go ahead and make me the attack roll with advantage, because of behold. That hits. Go ahead and roll damage, which is 2d10 because it's cast at 5th level.
Mm-hmm.
Is it 2d10 or 2d8?
I think it's 2d10. I will 2d8.
2d8. Okay.
Disappointing.
Okay.
Well.
It's also adding your charisma modifier, which is a +5. So go ahead and roll.
Yeah. It's.
Oh, they're d10s.
Surely is. Oh yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Uh,
11 plus 5, so 16 points of force damage.
16 force damage, yeah.
Okay.
As the blade otherwise cuts in, it sinks into a portion of it, carving away a portion of the stone again, kind of revealing that inner center to the statue itself.
Okay. Yeah, Rook swings low, misses, but then as the scythe appears from nowhere and slashes straight down, it manages to catch it.
Mm-hmm.
And then, since it's a cantrip, and spiritual weapon is a bonus action, I will Eldritch Blast.
Alright, Eldritch Blast.
Like the classic.
Go ahead and make me 3 attack rolls, please.
Say the line, Warlock.
Eldritch Blast. All 3 of them hit.
Awesome. So that's 20 plus 15, so 35.
35 damage. Nice. Get into the same one?
Into the same one.
Okay, so Rook, you take 35 points of damage.
When you say Rook takes this, I keep panicking, thinking, "Fuck, Rook's gonna die." And then, oh, hang on, no.
Hold on. That's
Hang
not how
on.
this works.
That's fine. I don't need to worry about this.
Rook's like, I feel a disturbance in the force.
just sitting with his griffin at the moment and panicking out of nowhere, and then like, "Oh no, not my problem."
He just stands up sharply and just like, oh, my back! 35 points of damage from standing up too quickly.
Oh wait, that's not me.
Alright.
God.
If you wish to move Queglod, you may do so. Otherwise, Rook, you still have a grip on the person who tried to escape you. Oh yes, roll your recharge as well, please.
Oh yeah, I shall. Yes, I had it highlighted, ready to do.
You have it back.
Okay, I'm going to engage that.
Okay. Bern and Malcom, please make me wisdom saving throws, please.
Shit.
You have one lucky
Lucky.
left.
Shit.
Okay. Malcom?
21.
Okay. You're perfectly fine. As you feel the mist flow over you, it's not a worry. But for Bern, you are slowed. Your movement speed is halved. You can't take reactions. You may only make one attack on each turn, and you can either take an action or a bonus action, not both. You may repeat the save at the end of each of your turns.
You bitch.
As you otherwise feel the world around you slow down, and you otherwise look around, it's going quickly, and you watch as the raven statue that's holding you causes this influence and mist to kind of encapsulate you. Okay. Malcom.
I need help.
I'm just gonna go back to beating the crap out of this green when I can, because I believe I can't move while grappled, right?
Correct. You can't use your movement while grappled.
Okay. So yeah, I'm just gonna go back to beating the crap out of this green one.
Okay. What are the hits?
Should be 18.
That's the lowest?
That's the lowest, yeah.
So all of them hit. Rook, Raven statue, would you like to use Sentinel?
Yeah.
Go ahead and make me an attack roll.
Okay.
Raven Rook.
Raven Rook. Okay, that will hit, so go ahead and roll damage. We'll get to that in a moment.
25
plus 12
12.
is 37 damage to me. Okay. Okay. As you otherwise go in for the attacks, one large bite and then two claws, you watch as the other raven statue stretches out its hand, grabbing your wings and digging through it.
Wait, what does it mean? The Sentinel has a thing where it's like when a creature within your reach makes an attack against a target other than you, and that target doesn't have this feat.
These creatures don't have that specific bit.
Okay, cool. That's fine.
So when it's a creature that attacks anything other
I
than
know
them,
it happened once.
yeah, it happened. Yeah, in the event of Player Sentinel, it works that way. For Monster Sentinel, it works different because it's fun to have an entire mob of these creatures for some reason.
Because Chris is a bad person. Remember this.
Hey,
The-
I'm lifting these
self-take.
off of other stats. Don't shoot me, or I'll give
not
these
gonna
things,
shoot you.
or I'll give these things an eye laser. Just modify the stats and send them to Rook
sweet.
again. Just be like, here, have
No,
a
you-
one-time
I'll have
ability.
an eye laser.
No, what you do is you give them the beam that Warforged Colossi have.
If I do that, I'm just gonna give it the ability to use one of the 8 Beholder Rays at random.
Is it gonna be disintegrate?
We'll find out, won't we? So the damage that
Or
you
maybe
did there, Rook-
petrify? What next?
So, Malcom, you take 24 points of slashing damage, and you are grappled by a second source.
I am double grappled. Woo!
0. Yay.
You can grapple multiple creatures?
They have 2 arms.
I took how much damage?
24.
That mean
Okay. By the way,
ungrapple to attack?
No, it just means it has to squeeze you to attack.
Ah, that's true, I guess.
Just means that because he makes one attack with each claw, he has to attack 2 different targets.
I am key pointing. I am key pointing again.
Okay.
Like,
Flurry of
more
blows. Go ahead.
I want this thing gone, out my sight. Oh,
Nope.
come
there is nope.
on!
You make the 2 attacks. As you try and make 2 more swings with your wing kind of there, it pulls at the wing, tearing the fabric and kind of pulling you away as you make the 2 swings. You otherwise hit against the hardened rock hide, doing nothing.
Just die!
Elsyan, the door behind you is open,
Oh,
leading down a long hallway.
Elsyan's legged it. Classic Elsyan.
Okay.
I was just gonna get behind the door, and the door's open. Come on through, quickly now.
Looking at the 2 grappled targets.
And then from its position, okay, right. I think it's. Did I pick up any bolts? The bow for the crossbow.
It comes with 46 plus 3 bolts.
Excellent. It's a +2 bow, isn't it? A crossbow. Isn't
Crossbow, so it's a +5, yeah. It's as if you had proficiency in it.
it? But I don't.
Which means it should be a +8 to hit.
Yes, it should be. As I fire in my crossbow at one of these things.
Which one? Green or red?
Oh, so checking. Are they both grappled?
They're both grappling, yes.
You know what? I think.
The green one's more damage than the red one.
I think I'll shoot the green one.
Okay, go ahead and make me an attack roll. It is with +8.
10.
You fire off the crossbow bolt, and as you hold it, you're like, this thing's a lot smaller than you imagined, and then pew! It shoots out as you
Ow.
watch as the magical infused energy shoots past the door, past Shattercrest, and just cleaves into the ground. You watch as this almost meteorite-like groove has been left where it's burrowed into the ground. As you watch as the magic leaves, you kind of stare off. Did anybody see that?
Don't
Sorry,
waste
sorry.
the bullets, you baboon.
So you now have 45 plus 3 bolts.
I imagine it like the Men in Black scene, you know, where they've got that tiny ass little gun.
Oh. Well, it's the noisy cricket. Okay,
Yeah.
let's go.
Yeah.
And it just goes, this is tiny. Oh, my shoulder.
Well, at least now we know they work.
Okay, who trusted me with it? In my defense, I was left unsupervised.
Okay. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
I don't think there's anything else I can do. I think Elsyan still needs to learn more spells.
Okay. Okay. My Raven statue's turn.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's going to take 2 attacks versus... Actually, I need to see if it gets its recharge back. Nope. It is going to... Okay, it is going to risk an attack of opportunity from you, Malcom. As it releases its grapple, you watch as its claws release, and you watch as its head swivels and points at Elsyan.
Which one? The green one?
Green one. You can use your action to
would...
attack of opportunity if you wish. You're no longer grappled.
Am I allowed to grapple it with the attack of opportunity?
I believe that's specifically part of a action on your turn to attack it that way.
I think you've done it to us previously.
I'll quickly double check. That's what the player's handbook
I
has
think
for.
I remember you doing that to us once.
Yeah, I think it's just you need to hit, and then you... Yeah, I think it's you need to hit, and then I roll a athletics check against your grapple. But you need to hit the attack roll first. Where are you? Yeah, an opportunity attack is just a special kind of melee attack, which unless they disengage would allow it. So yes, you may do so. Yeah.
Well,
So
let's
if
see
able to make
I-
multiple attacks, it takes 1 action. You must no be more than 1 size larger than
attack.
you.
Well, I hit.
Use from free hands, try and seize the target by a grapple. Instead of an attack roll, you use your athletics check, contested by theirs. What's your
Okay,
total?
well, let me double check the athletics of a young black dragon.
Should be... Ooh,
Should just be my strength mod because it's not
yeah,
proficient.
so that's plus
So,
4.
plus
Nope.
4. Yeah, it's plus 4 for a young black.
That is a 20 on my part. I believe that fails.
That fails.
Okay. You hold it in place as it otherwise tries to move. You otherwise reach out your claws, grappling against the edge of its stone exterior, kind of holding it there. As it swings round, it's going to go for 1 slam into you, the other into Bern, which it has advantage on you against you, Bern, because you are slowed. Laughing armor. When does that last until?
The beginning of my turn.
Okay, so I need to make a wisdom saving throw, correct?
Charisma. Charisma.
Charisma. What's your DC?
Meh.
What's your DC?
20.
20.
Uh,
If I roll a natural 20, I will meet your DC. I have advantage because of magic resistance. Okay, so looks like its 2 attacks are going into Malcom then. Alright. So,
Okay.
2 attacks going into Malcom. One is a 16, which misses. The other is a 25. I believe that hits.
Just barely.
22 points of slashing damage, and you are now grappled once again. As the claw swings in towards Bern, you watch as its claw slips off of the oily exterior, swinging up and through, going wide as it goes and reaches for the other one, again grabbing around the edge of your neck, the claws digging in.
How much damage again?
22.
Damn, these things do damage.
Yeah, they do. Alright, Bern, it is your turn. Your laughing armor fades, you are currently slowed.
Okay, so slow means I can only take action or bonus action. Do I get my reaction?
No. No reaction, and you get your action or your bonus action. And your movement speed is halved, but you're currently grappled, so it is 0.
Yikes.
that's a horrible combo.
Oh yeah, these things are savage. There's only 2 things I added to this creature, and that was the changing of the name from Slam to Claw, and its first ability or its first feature, which doesn't come into play but very often, but for that niche time that it will.
Hmm.
Sam's just going through his head. Any creature with slam. can't be a colossus.
A lot of creatures just have slam as their one.
I know. It's a very easy thing. It's an elf slam. Fuck it. It smacks it with something.
With something blunt and heavy.
Fist, sure, that works.
It likes your cut, G.
You know what, Chris?
Hmm?
Let's have it your way then. Screw you. I will twin spell slow on you.
Okay.
Oh.
So, twin spell slow. This breaks your concentration on enhance ability.
I would have broken already because of laughing armor. It breaks. It's a concentration.
Oh, that's true. It is. I forgot about that. Okay. So, twin spell slow. We make what save?
Wisdom.
Wisdom, and we make it with advantage.
Well, that's a 19.
19? Nope.
Well,
We both fail. We're both slowed.
screw you. I wasn't. Screw you.
You otherwise hold it there. Actually,
It'd be
slow
normal, 'cause
slow
you're the
means
same
it.
speed as us.
Hold on, slow means that it takes a full round to cast a spell that takes an action.
Use an action of a round to the creature. Creature attempts to cast a spell with a casting time of 1 action. Roll d20 on 11 or higher. The spell doesn't take effect until the next turn.
Okay, go ahead and roll me a d20 on 11 or higher.
It's blink chances.
Nope. Okay, takes effect immediately.
Oh, yeah, wait. Never mind. That's good. Fuck.
Yeah, this is. Yeah, it isn't. Yeah, it's on an 11 or higher. The spell doesn't take effect until the
Yeah.
creature's next turn.
good.
So yeah, in this situation, it is otherwise completed. And if it can't, then it fails. Okay.
Aha!
A 40-foot cube? It's huge.
Yeah. Oh,
Nice.
wait. I don't need to twin spell it. It's a fucking AoE.
You do, because otherwise you're going to hit Malcom and Behold.
Well, your choice. You can choose.
Of your choice in a 40-foot cube within range. Each creature must make a... Oh, wait, no, you can, so you don't need to twin spell it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just.
Yeah, so it would just affect these two. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Malcolm's getting tired of seeing this mist.
Bern's is strictly not missed as you watch as Bern otherwise reaches to one side, kind of in a very slow motion. You watch as he goes to snap his fingers and it takes like 3 seconds to do. And as it happens, you watch as there's this click sound. And you watch as the two large raven statues, one that's got him and one that's got you, as they're going in for the next attacks, you watch as they immediately slow down. Kind of
You're wrong,
their
Chris.
arms going slower.
They both have me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. As they both have you, one wrapped around Bern, one wrapped around you. They're distinctly slow. Okay. End of Bern's turn. Queglod.
My turn. Alright, time to complete the Uno reverse card. I cast Dispel Magic on the slow effect of Bern.
Wonderful.
It's being cast at 5th level, so
Yeah, so
Naturally
that would
blessed.
be an auto. Yeah, you otherwise kind of reach over, lifting your palm. The spell effect ends on Bern as you watch as Bern, you're there. You cast slow. Your fingers snap. You're like, yeah, and then you feel the world speed up around you, but you're still held in place.
break off and get through the door if you get the chance, but I'm perfectly happy to fight these things. Speaking of which,
That means no reactions for us, but Rook.
No.
speaking of
Yeah.
which, it
Get ready.
is Behold's attack. He's just trying to get noticed at this point.
Go ahead and make your attack roll. Its AC is reduced by 2 because of the slow effect.
Mm-hmm. Well, what can you do?
He swings out, and in the slow form, he goes for the arm, but the arm slows down, and it just it goes wide and whiffs.
He's trying to
Right.
predict where it's going to be, but then it
I have a serious question to ask.
Hmm?
Because they're both grappling me, to break the grapple, would it break, if I succeeded, would it break both or just one?
Just one. But you can do this per attack, and because you have 3 attacks as a dragon, you can attempt it 3 times.
Okay.
I've cunningly dodged the ambiguity over what Bern's attack modifiers should be by rolling like dog shit every time, so that it doesn't matter. But as we've established, this is a team effort. Spiritual weapons.
Go ahead and make me an attack roll with advantage. Queglod.
Now, if I recall correctly, the spiritual weapon doesn't grant.
Doesn't grant it, but it gets it.
Yeah, so Behold shouldn't have had advantage, which he didn't.
No, he didn't have advantage.
Yeah, that's fine.
Wouldn't he have had advantage because they're slowed?
No, I made the mistake on that earlier, and by the way, the 2 rolls that I made were both very high. It was a 16 and a 15 on my part. It's only a -2 to his AC.
That's 13 damage. That should be on there.
13
Spiritual
damage. On which one? Red one?
The red one. All
Okay.
of this is on the red one.
Red one takes 13 slashing damage, or force damage, rather.
Okay, right, yeah.
Okay. So at the end of your turn, Queglod, or are you moving into the area?
I'm actually waiting for everyone else to get in first.
Okay.
So I'm going to wait here. Just as a question, how is the red one looking at this point? You said it seemed to be slowly regenerating.
The nature of its regeneration is just to prevent any parts of its interior being exposed. It's
Okay.
more of a stone shape, shifting any buffer that it has to reform its shape so it doesn't
Right,
become
I see.
mutilated. With that note, the red one's looking wounded, but it's not badly wounded. The green one is looking a lot more hurt. It's looking thinner in certain patches.
Okay.
Okay. Rook.
Okay,
You
well,
are slowed, so only 1 attack.
yes. Okay, I am just going to
Don't forget-
squeeze
Don't forget.
substantially harder on Bern's neck.
Oh yes. Go ahead
Oh,
and roll
right,
for your
yeah.
recharge. You
Actually,
can't.
that's a very good point.
Yeah.
Nope.
Okay. So go ahead and make me an attack roll against Bern. Single one.
6 plus
17.
11.
Oof.
17 misses, I assume. Bern. You're quiet.
That doesn't hit, no.
No. Okay. As it otherwise begins to squeeze against you, you kind of instinctively move out of the way of where its squeezing is otherwise taking place, kind of applying certain areas of pressure, moving your hands to slow its movement. It doesn't manage to squeeze you and do any damage. Okay. That ends its turn. There's nothing else it can do.
Nope.
Malcolm.
Ah! I want to move so badly.
And break the grapple.
I'm not. I'm gonna just keep attacking until it dies. That's when I'll break the grapple. Oh, that's another natural 20.
Okay. That's 3 hits. So go ahead and roll.
Just gotta get my 2d6 back.
That's fine.
41.
41
Damn.
plus 12. Something I actually need to check. Plus, yeah. So, as you otherwise bite into it, you kind of dig deep with your teeth as they crunch through the stone. You can feel almost a harder red exterior in the center. As you bring a claw up through the chest, you tear it free as the red crystal kind of falls, crumbling in your hand, as does it. Its grip on you dissipating. As you turn and swing with your other claw, you dig it into the surface of the red one, doing...
that would be 2d6.
That was 2d6, but it was the 2 and the 1, so that's 7 points of damage to you there, Rook.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that's your 3 attacks, taking down 1 and the other one being damaged.
Yep.
Is that your turn?
That's all I can do. I can't use a bonus action for anything, so.
Okay.
Or
Elsyan.
unless I can see if I can get Shadowcast to maybe use like a breath attack on it or something?
Elsyan?
Shadowcrest is kind of staying out of combat here, just trying to stay away from the fight, given that was what was said.
Okay.
Elsyan, as it gets to the top of your turn, or initiative 20, you're standing in this hallway. You kind of look back, you see one of the statues fall, and as you turn and look down the hallway, you watch as the door further down begins to open on its own. It swings
Wonderful.
It swings open, and you watch as a form steps through. What looks to be that of a kind of another elven figure, but darker grey skin, two large chains at their sides, swinging them. As they're going to move forward and make attacks against you.
Wonderful. Someone with a brain.
Okay.
Wait. Oh no. Oh no. No. Shadakai.
Elsyan recognizes this, and
Yeah.
Queglod,
I
I'd say from
vaguely
your
knows about them.
position, from your current position, you hear this sound of like heavy chains being swung, and you know this place previously had Shadakai in it. Elsyan's the only one they haven't seen. And he's the only one in the corridor.
Am I about to attack someone who's actually our friend? Are we doing the whole superhero meets like friends and have a misunderstanding thing?
Yep.
Not because, but by the way, in this analogy, the Shadakai is the superhero, obviously not Elsyan.
Okay. So that is 3 attacks
Oh,
against
God.
you with its spiked chain.
I don't like him.
First one is a 21 to hit.
Yes. Yes, I do. I will apply shield anyway.
Find out what the other effects do first before you apply that, just in case. So the other attacks, sorry. Go ahead and roll me a dexterity saving throw as well, please, as you also take 13 points of piercing damage. The large
Yay.
chain otherwise swinging in and digging into your skin.
That's
Total?
a 17. with
Okay.
that first dex save.
You succeed the save as the heavy chain otherwise wraps over your shoulder. You don't feel it. You feel the pressure of it trying to push you to the ground, but not doing so, as it's going to pull the chain backwards, the spiked edges cutting in through your clothing. That is a 16 to hit.
Ooh, that also hit. Oh well, no shield. That
Okay.
won't hit.
At this point, casting shield, you push the chain off as it swings back with the chain. It swings around with the other one from its other wrist up, going for an uppercut against you. That is a 14 to hit. That one misses. As the chain swings up, it carves against the surface of your shield, kind of setting off sparks as necrotic energy cloaked the edge of the chain itself. As it does so, it holds itself there, kind of in a defensive position. Okay, Elsyan, it is your turn.
Hello, my name's Elsyan. I'm with the Dawn Seekers.
You spending your action to say this?
Would it take a whole action to say this?
If you're trying to show non-aggressive actions to communicate, then yes.
Okay. Would I know what language the Shadakai speak?
Elvish is the
Okay,
most
so
common
I'm
one.
going to be saying this in Elvish.
Okay.
Obviously in my high elf dialect, which is far superior to any others, but
Oh no.
nonetheless, at least I won't have to listen to any of that yokel wood Elvish.
Okay. The Shadakai otherwise looks at you as it otherwise kind of holds itself in a defensive position. Looks
Don't
looks
mean any
momentarily
harm.
concerned as it looks out from behind you.
I honestly don't know what's happening.
Okay.
This is the first time I've been here. We've got a halfling out there that seems to know what's going on. Queglod, you know her?
There's a moment of, as you kind of say this, kind of having this conversation, looking back, the very slow animated raven statue beginning to swing down. The Shadakai looks at you. You're with Queglod. And immediately, kind of using its reaction, goes into a whistle. At this point,
That was like, see, to Elsyan, that was either really good or really bad.
okay, end of
Probably good.
your turn there. Bern, it would be your turn. Statue before you is slowed. You hear kind of this from behind you. You hear this grunt of pain followed by a whistle. You're currently grappled in place, though. Also, I think you're quiet. What was that?
I'm gonna try to ungrapple.
Go ahead and make me a athletics check, please. And Rook, please do the same.
Hmm.
Come on, Rook, let's go.
Hang on, what's that? Just ignore that.
Yes!
19 versus
19. Never mind. That's a
17. You otherwise attempt to break free, trying to pull the stones apart, but in the slowed nature, it's stuck there. There's no give or take. There's no easy movement for it. Takes your action.
7. Yeah. Gonna hard do myself then.
Okay. Placing your hand on your chest, the energy quickly rushes over you. Okay. Queglod. You hear the commotion from down the hallway as you hear some words being spoken before there's a high-pitched whistle.
All right. Okay. Hearing that someone is actually in the corridor, I'm going to walk through.
Okay. You see before you a Shadakai. Not one that you
Okay.
recognize, but you recognize this particular kind of Shadakai. They themselves being one of the lower rank individuals as you otherwise approach. There's a momentary glance as you see other forms further down the corridor making their way up.
Okay. Yeah, I approach, again holding up Nightmaker in front of me, if it's like a spectral flame glowing inside of it.
Mhm.
Right. Black Hold, I'm Queglod Prill. I've been here before. I'm a servant of the Raven Queen. Call off your automaton.
Okay. You say this as you watch as, after you in the initiative, you watch as a Shadakai, a different one in this regard. You see one with kind of longer strands of the dark hair rushes past you. As it does so, it goes outside, and you hear something spoken in Elvish. Anybody who speaks Elvish would understand this, so Elsyan probably. Stand down, these ones are friends. As it raises its hand, you watch as this dark energy glows, and Rook, you are no longer facing intruders.
Okay.
Elsyan
Face your
lets out
friends.
a
You're gonna
sigh of
kill
relief.
them.
You're facing friends. Yeah, you otherwise kind of, the rest of you watch as the large raven statue otherwise steps back, the dark black stone on the interior kind of settles for a moment and slowly flies back to its perch, releasing the grip on the two of you. You're quiet again, Val.
We need to get some of those to the tavern.
What a better mic.
We need to get
Oh, can
reading.
you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Just
We can
about.
hear you now.
I will keep the slow for the entire duration.
Now he's just being petty.
Is there like a stone for the one that I broke? Like,
The crystal itself shattered in your palm.
I'll try and gather what little bit of the shattering I can, and kind of go over while turning back into Malcom, trying to keep hold of it, saying, "Sorry, I broke your other one."
The Shadakai before you otherwise looks at you. No worries, we'll get it fixed. Takes the crystals from your hand and kind of turns. Immediately kind of looks over where you are, Queglod. My sincerest apologies. We did not know that you were coming. And we have recently been dealing with some creatures that have been moving through the mists. My apologies again if any of you have seen injury from this.
I think we'll all be okay. It's understandable. Just make sure you build a failsafe into those automatons if you rebuild that first one. As it is, I believe we encountered one of the creatures you're having trouble with the first time we came here. And I can't blame you for being on edge, if that's the case.
Not quite. We've been dealing with other creatures here in the mountains.
Of what nature?
We've had Taratan and fiends coming to the surface. We've been attacking us and doing some damage to our scouts.
Bern perks up.
If that's the case, this may actually be connected to what I came here to speak to you.
Then please, step this way. The one in front of you, Elsyan, kind of places his hand on your chest just to stop you. There's a moment of kind of this dark energy and palm before you watch as he places his hand on the wall, and you watch as hundreds of glyphs of warding light up and fade, as you are now marked as an ally.
Elsyan, sort of, when he puts his hand on Arthur's chest, his hands sort of go up and it's like, whoa, big man. And then as he sees that, he goes from, 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, you were 5 feet away from activating one of those.
Oh god, I almost stepped.
You almost stepped.
I
into
almost did. Oh.
That's why I asked if you were moving any further forward, because one of them was going to go off if you did.
I mean, whenever a DM asks, "Are you sure?" That's when you shit yourself and go, "No, I'm not."
So Elsyan thought that he was far away from the danger, but was actually the closest one to it.
Yeah. And everybody else would have been fine, except for Shattercrest and Elsyan, because they are not marked as allies. Shattercrest
Thank you.
sequencingly gets marked and is otherwise okay. The rest of you transform back. Behold returns to the lantern once again.
Yeah.
As you otherwise begin to make your way into the interior to Blackhold. And I think we'll take a quick break there.
That
Seems like a
sounds
good
good to
spot.
me.
So, take a quick 1 or 2 minute break. Yeah, Sam, let me know if you wanted to head off just because headache or if you're feeling better.
Headache's feeling a bit better, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, now would be a good time to take any paracetamol or ibuprofen if you need it.
yeah, I've already taken some. Can't take any more for a while now.
Depends how much you took. I believe it's...
I always take full dosage. No, it's not a case of how much you take. The dosage, the timing doesn't matter on the dosage. You should take... Well, actually, no, that's completely wrong.
Because it's 1
No,
every
I
2
don't-
hours or 2 every 4 hours is the recommended dosage for it.
You can actually swap in between paracetamol and ibuprofen.
Yes, which is
So
what I
take
do.
2 ibuprofen every 2 hours, 2 paracetamol every 2 hours.
Yeah. I typically
There's
am
probably
taking-
some reason why you shouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I take 1 paracetamol and 1 ibuprofen every 2 to 4 hours, depending on how bad it is.
Well, I'm here desperately trying to, while doing this, also trying to make a steampunk city map, and or just something for a Forge World map. And you don't have any commissions this Thursday, do you, Chris?
I have stuff. I mean, I have a backlog of a few things to do, but it's
Fair
not
enough.
really a
Don't
commission.
know about it.
I
No,
can
what
do
about
if you- I can-
I'll figure it out. If I get stuck before
before
properly
then,
stuck,
by all means, yeah.
it reaches Thursday, then
Yeah, no worries.
actually no. Well, no, I want a map. Doing it in person, but I want a map to be able to send to my players on their phones. Just be like, here's the map.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. So you'll all move in, and when everybody's back, we shall begin. It's next segment.
Wonderful. We're not going to have to kill anything again today, are we? And if we are, does it have a brain?
You'll find out.
Just curious.
Hmm?
How much HP do those things have?
200-ish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're fairly tanky.
Not bad at all.
Yeah. The one feature that
I'm-
has been added is tied to certain constructs in the method of their creation.
Yeah.
Why do they have 3d12 damage?
Hmm?
Why do they have 3d12 damage?
Because why not?
Because that's what damage they do.
Why? Because fuck you. That's why.
Hmm?
That's a lot of damage.
Why do you have disintegrate?
I will
You see, there
say...
was a little box and it said, if fighting Bern, make sure you add the extra 2d12. And I was like, I'll add the extra.
Look, it is better than some creatures that, you know, have some very nasty hits that they can do. Let me see if I've got it still. Ah, yes. The variant rules for the Iron Golem. tab thing I found on a D&D forum. Depending on the weapon that you wish to give your Iron Golem, a sword will do 3d10, a pike will do 3d12, and if you're feeling particularly brutal, giving it an axe that does 4d12. So you can upgrade the weapon that an Iron Golem would use to make it more powerful.
Would you tame said Iron Golem?
Tame an iron golem.
Tame, no. Make, yes. There is a legendary item for that. I believe it's called the Iron Golem Manual.
That's a standard item. Yeah, I think that is a standard item.
I think it's a very rare or legendary item that allows you to make a Iron Golem once using, I think it's 80,000 gold of iron. And
I think that's the only way players can.
That's the only way
unless
players can.
unless you're willing to give them a full-blown system in it, which, you know.
Hey, I mean, you know, I make systems for stuff that doesn't exist, so.
Very rare.
Yeah, very rare. But I'll probably end up making a system for that sort of thing, for those specific rules.
But yeah, I'm just looking at it now. Must be able to have at least 2 5th level spell slots. You take psychic damage if you can't do it. 66, so not a small amount, not ridiculous at our stage.
Enough to kill anyone who's probably less than a 4th level caster.
Yeah, to a creature, to create an Iron Golem, you must spend 120 days working without interruption with the manual at hand, and resting no more than 8 hours per day.
Yeah.
You
so
must also pay 100,000 gold pieces to purchase supplies. Once you finish creating the golem, the book is consumed in eldritch flames. The goblin becomes animated when the ash of the manuals are sprinkled on it. It is under your control, and it understands and obeys your spoken commands.
And there are a few interesting questions that come with that, and some interesting ones that apply. For example, you've seen an Iron Golem before, under the control of one of the mages in Craganville, I believe it was. Yeah, one of the mage shops there had an Iron Golem as a sentinel. And this also begs the question, who's writing these manuals?
I don't think...
It's Obo.
Just imagine there's just one guy who's just writing these all out. It's like, oh god, paying 100,000 gold pieces for... Oh god, perfect. He also owns like all the industries that sell Iron Golem parts. You suckers! This costs 10 gold pieces at max.
So he must be in the ether then. Bern,
I mean,
campaign 2.
But yeah, it's I do love the thought of a fire wizard with their golem buddy, and it's just a case of that wizard only knows fireball, and their buddies, his buddies in the fight with it. That's an Iron Golem. Your point? Fireball happens. They see the Iron Golem heal. Oh no.
Oh, savage combo for you to use in your campaign, Sam.
It is, and I do intend to.
No, 2 Iron Golems under the control of an ancient red dragon. Fire breath, but it's hitting your own Iron Golems. I know. Eyebrows
Here's the thing.
raised.
Iron Golems are one of the monsters that I know actually worry my party because they do a lot of fire stuff. And it's great to just sit there and just like, oh, I see.
I'm happy about this session.
Why? Because I just had a thought of using Conjure Elemental, making a fire elemental that lives inside of your Iron Golem, but you've used Planar Ally to otherwise bind it so that it's under your control for 30 days.
Oh.
So you just have an Iron Golem with a self-healing system inside of it, because it takes 2d6 fire damage at the start of the turn.
God, Iron Golem with rejuvenation. Fuck. Oh no, rejuvenation is the one where they die and come back. Regeneration?
Regeneration, yes.
Regeneration is the one.
Yeah. However, it just makes
Either one.
slam attacks against the inside of the golem to heal it.
And fire, and instead of poison breath, it gets fire breath. Let's face it.
Well, why not have poison? The elemental's immune to it.
Fair point.
But why not have fire? Because
See,
it heals from it.
I've always wondered what the poison breath actually is. In my head, it's just like Yeah, as this thing like moves along, it like generates a load of like polluted gas and stuff inside it.
I've always just imagined it as CO2.
Well, that's the sort of thing I'm thinking.
Okay, Chris needs to quickly be right back, and then we will get this started again.
Okay.
Roger, Roger.
3 natural 20s
Yeah,
in
man.
session. What the hell's going on today?
Drop them there. That's a point. I do need to look through constructs and see some more terrifying stuff they can be. Anyone got any particular favourite construct that is a non-golem? Or Warforged Colossus or Marut?
Stone Golem?
Stone Golem.
Mm.
I don't know
Yeah,
about
look,
any of the
flesh
other.
golems have a very specific flavour to them, but they are cool.
I mean, it's the only one that I know of, so.
Yeah, well, you could pretty much just say any material and golem after it, and it's probably hair.
Potato?
I'm back.
Okay,
That'd be amazing.
a potato golem.
Potato golem?
After on defeat turns into fries.
No, that's when it is vulnerable to fire damage, turns into like cooked potato. But then that begs the question: are there carrot golems?
Maybe,
No.
but
Oh
But
man, just a druid who makes a bunch of animated plants.
I can do that. Oh.
Cast Awaken on a
I
potato.
can use a cadaver collector. Sorry,
All right, Infernal, you here?
Oh, this is fun.
they're spiky.
Yeah,
I like.
Okay, you're here. All right, we've got everyone. So, as you enter the interior of this, going through the otherwise dark stone hallways, traveling past the several glyphs of warding which light up but then accept your existence as you travel through. You travel through a second, a third, and a fourth set of double doors as you eventually reach the large kind of interior dome of this, the hardened stone around the exterior, the bookshelves that line it around the area, the wooden slat floor, and the various individuals here. As Queglod, you recognize someone standing before you, given word of what's going on. You see the Grandmother Shadow, Massifir Baltin, as she wanders forward towards you, and otherwise embraces you into a hug. My sincerest apologies, friends. I'm sorry for the inconvenience that you've suffered, but things have been getting difficult up here. What can I do to help you?
Actually, it has to do with Taratan, which makes me think it might be more relevant to your current situation than I was expecting. What do you know about the Prince of Blood?
Very little from that name. She kind of looks around the immediate vicinity to see if there's anyone around who may know this. You look over and you see some of the other kind of like as you see some of the archivists kind of give a blank look as the head archivist, who you have met before, Truge Lelter, who otherwise looks over, kind of does like a curious look, stands up and walks off.
Just checking. All of us are here, yeah?
All of you are here, yes.
Before he goes off, I say, also known as the King of Blood.
Soon to be known as the Emperor of Blood. If-
No.
Unless we have anything to do with it.
Yes, so is this why these attacks have been happening? We've had a large number of them attacking our scouts. We've been using the mist and the creatures that live here to our advantage, but they've been traveling in large numbers.
I'm interested to know why they're here. Their city should be all the way on the other side.
Where do you know it to be? Do you have a map, perhaps?
Any of us have a map?
I pull out my map.
You pull out your map of the Empire, otherwise holding it up.
No, remind me, was it here or here?
To be exact on where it was, you had outposts which you took care of, which were here and here. You had the city itself was here,
Oh, it
right,
was on the Volga.
right underneath Mount Volgrim, which is the main reason why you don't want to cast Earthquake there. So, in that basis, you know that travelling that far for an outpost underground, depending on the natural cavern works, it's not out of the question to have gone this way, given it's about the same distance.
I guess, yeah. Their city is under Mount Fulcrum. And the Underdark.
If that's the case, they've come a long way to come to the surface, especially up into the mountains.
That is what's interesting me.
With the wedding pending, it makes sense that they'd be trying to bolster all of their outposts. And keep their defenses up as much as possible.
You say wedding of this prince or king of blood?
Yes, to the Taratan Empress.
What exactly is he? Is he a Taratan? Is he...
Demon, devil.
Fiend.
Fiend?
Straight up fiend.
Was he like half devil, half demon, or was he just...
Half devil, half demon, along with his brother. But he shows more of a devil likeness, whereas his brother shows a demonic, more demonic lineage.
half-breed? Devil and...
Not Yugoloth, funnily enough.
Strange mix.
He's incredibly powerful now, but if he becomes Emperor, he'll be almost unstoppable.
It's find somewhere far enough away to live the best life you can until he comes for you, sort of deal.
If that's the case, then we'll be one of the first to go. We can't afford to abandon this place.
Yeah.
Well,
The attack is gonna happen within 3 days of now? Or 2 days of now?
Somewhere between 2 and 3, yeah.
Soon.
Bern's faction has
Okay.
found a way to infiltrate, or at least get close to the city where the wedding is happening. We know roughly when he's planning for it to take place. We're planning to interrupt it, and are gathering forces to make the attack as successful as possible.
We don't have forces that can leave, unfortunately. We aren't a good number of individuals. We stand at 300 strong, including our scouts. We can't afford to abandon this post. But
that is unfortunate, but not entirely unexpected.
But there are things we can help with. Items, perhaps. What kind of things do you need? Strengths that you have, weaknesses you need to cover. Certain things that you can take care of.
This is where Bern's greed comes into play, and he says, "Bags are holding."
This is where Elsyan just goes, "Do you happen to have a secret golem army?"
Those golems take a long time to make.
I know. I apologize. Poor joke.
No, I have heard what happened. The golems themselves are set to attack anyone that, even if they recognize, unless they are able to speak the command word in Elvish, it's not very helpful. We also would have preferred to have a notice for arrival, but that's fine.
Duly noted for the future.
Well.
Well, first of all, Elsyan, is the vault here going to be of any use to you for spells?
I'm sure it will be. Although I don't have a lot of time to learn new ones.
That is the difficulty, I suppose.
I'll have time to learn some lower level ones. I've got an idea. Don't suppose you've got a book, anything written down for Scorching Ray? I've got an idea.
We could get a scroll made for that in a few days.
In a few days.
We'll see if we have one, but we're not really a store of spells, more of a store of
That's-
information, weaknesses,
I-
and other things of that nature.
Understandable. It's a long shot. Just to Elsyan turns to the others. I was thinking that when he last fought the Prince of Blood, he ended up with that shield around him, did he not? That any. Remind me, did he have to take a certain amount of damage before that would drop?
No, the first
it's just
thing,
the first
whatever it
damage.
was, is nullified completely.
Hmm.
Regardless
So-
of whatever it is.
It might have been upgraded now into something else as well.
True.
Might have.
But this is why I'm thinking Scorching Ray, because it means that at the very least I may be able to. If I go first, I have a method of still doing any damage to him. I mean, it's Scorching Ray, it's not going to do a lot, and he's a fiend, he's going to be resistant to fire, but
That is something worth making note of, though.
it's
that we
better
brought
than
this
Magic
in.
Missile.
Hmm.
Actually, I don't think it is.
Out.
Sudden realization, Magic Missile's amazing in this scenario.
It is, because it all hits, and never mind.
It all
Have
hits
to
us.
hope you go first.
It hits as 3 separate bolts. One hits, gets rid of the shield, the other ones just hit automatically. You lose 1d4 plus 1 damage. It's not that bad.
You just have to hope you're first in the initiative.
Yeah, or you go immediately after him.
Yeah, or first from our side, yeah.
Well, it depends if he's at the top. Well,
Out of
go on.
out of curiosity, you wouldn't happen to know any weaknesses for, say, a pit fiend, would you?
She pauses, kind of looking at you all. We've dealt with a few summoned fiends, none of that strength and variety, but I forgot she has advantage on these.
fiends are fiends, are they not?
Fiends are fiends. Anything that could be strong against them can work. Silvered weapons would work still. They won't do anything extra, but they will help with that sort of thing.
Understood.
Something that they otherwise are repelled by.
Here we go again.
Malcolm quickly makes
Next is going to be putting garlic on our weapons against me.
That doesn't work.
Garlic doesn't work, but let's throw you in some running water and see what happens.
Are there any other issues that you think you might come across? What is your plan? Are you attempting a frontal assault? Are you sneaking in? Are you...
Well,
An-
the frontal assault
infiltration.
is a distraction.
We are going to be moving in as a small team, actually infiltrating the wedding.
The goal is to draw off
anything.
as much of his force as possible.
Anything which
But
would
it will
help us
still
hide, I guess?
Ways to hide. That might not work against fiends. Some of them have an extra sense. Something, an innate ability to be able to see something.
Would seeming get past that? If the
That-
disguises were enough made.
If they're looking your way, then probably not. But if they aren't, then they probably won't.
Are there any... so we need to remain fairly unnoticed still.
Which may be difficult if we're being introduced as the Plague Lord's personal guard. This is worth being aware of ahead of time, actually, because this
Yes.
complicates our plans.
There is... She kind of pauses and looks around. Might have something. Is what you're fighting specifically devils, demons, that sort of thing?
Grasp and Terratan.
Yes.
This might not work against Terratan and beasts, but it might work against fiends.
is that?
She otherwise kind of calls over in Elvish. Alda.
What does she call?
And you watch as one of the individuals otherwise moves over, kind of a longer robe on this one, the kind of the long braid down the back of his head as he otherwise moves up. She puts her hand out and he gives her a Ree of Kings. Key of no.
Ree of Kings.
A
Jesus.
ring of keys. There we go. That was harder to say than I thought it would be.
A Ree of Kings.
A Ree of Kings.
A king of rings. Wait, no. A key of rings. No, wait. A ring of keys.
There we go. Got there in the end.
Ring of rings, yes.
Oh, Captain Dad. Dad Holt. Captain Dad. Officer Dad. Officer Dad, that's the one.
Be back 1 minute.
No worries.
That's a good reference. Fuck you, people.
As she otherwise moves into the other room, she otherwise goes to one particular portion of it, the same place where she went for the stone that was to be, or the part which was to be slotted into Nightmaker. She goes over, places the key in a lock in the side wall, and you watch as the portcullis arises. And you can see that there are a number of crates and other artifacts and articles in here that are placed within either glass cases, which are heavily warded with abjuration magic, which Queglod and Malcom, the two of you, pick up on instantly. And Elsyan, you can look at Elsyan, without having to detect magic up, you can otherwise see that there are there's obvious glyph work in place here.
Oh, boy.
She otherwise moves up to one particular case, and you see inside what looks to be this kind of strange vial of almost this greyish liquid. And you watch as she moves up to it and otherwise places her hand on the glass, and you watch as the glass shimmers and dissipates. She reaches in and takes the grey vial, kind of taking it out and getting a look at it. It might just work. This is a vial of concealment.
Interesting.
What this will do is, well, a potion of concealment. When it is drunk, it will protect you from divinative measures, both natural and unnatural. It should protect against any form of sight types that would see through, but it's only going to be viable for one of you.
Alright. Time to go into that demi-plane.
Would Malcolm have an idea of how much this... how rare this kind of potion is?
Looking at it, you've never heard of something like this before. Go ahead and roll me an intelligence check, please.
That was a +4.
Total?
12.
12. You kind of sit there and you're kind of standing there thinking about how rare this is. It doesn't have a too dissimilar effect to something like an amulet of protection against detection and location. Where that might have an effect, you've never really had it interact with true sight before or anything of that nature. This potion should, in theory, work against it. For that reason, it's probably rare, maybe very rare, so the nature of it would take a long time to brew and a lot even longer, potentially a shorter time, but still a long time to decipher. Such an effect is useful.
Well, if we had the time, I probably could have made more, but...
It would still be useful if we plan to go in Queglod's demi-plane.
So, we go with Queglod being the...
We all go in her demi-plane and then she can use this.
I realise what you're doing.
What?
You're Hunter x Huntering this.
Yes.
Just all sit in the demi-plane, Queglod goes in on her own and then pops the demi-plane and everyone rushes out.
Yeah.
It's a viable strategy,
You're
though
just
it does come with some risks.
Yeah.
One well-timed counter spell, and all of you are out of the fight immediately.
And Queglod's on her own.
Queglod's fine. She'll scare them into submission.
And if they don't expect it, I don't think anyone would be ready to counterspell, no?
If it's an instant thing,
Yeah, what does it
First
require to cast anything?
It's an action, I believe.
No,
Or is it a
like
minute?
verbal magic.
Let me actually check.
Demiplane is 8th level. Casting time is 1 action. Somatic only.
So I just need to touch a wall.
Not even a wall, I don't think.
I think you can just touch the ground.
I mean, let's face it, that would be quite a surprising way to start combat, possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly.
No, if you're talking about surprise round, you would have had that if it wasn't for the true sight of a pit fiend, depending on how you got
If
there.
it's concealed, that won't work, right?
Yeah, it's a matter of you create a shadowy door on a flat surface that you can see within range, which is 60 feet. You don't even have to touch it. You just have to wave your hand in your form, whichever that may be, because you'd obviously need to disguise yourself somehow. Disguise yourself with the potion up. You can't be detected. You wander up, cast Demiplane.
Is it like a concentration, or does it just happen?
What?
Seeming.
Seeming lasts for a number of hours, I think. I want to say.
I thought it was
8
8 hours.
I think it's 8 hours.
Just
Yeah.
works for 8 hours.
Lasts
So-
the duration unless you use your action to dismiss it sooner. Okay.
Yeah, to dismiss it sooner. But you can make yourself look one foot shorter or taller, so 3 foot tall.
Yeah, so Elsyan
So-
could use this on her. She uses concealment, and then she could sneak in.
She'd have 1 hour to do so, being protected against divination and the pit fiend. Outside of that, would just be protected against. It would just be a matter of she'd be an illusion at that point. So.
There is one complication with this plan is how do you all get in the demi? Because I only have one casting of this.
Wonderful.
You can only cast it once.
Once
Yeah.
per day.
Once per day. But that just means she has to take a long rest somewhere.
Even Queglod on her own.
Yeah, for 8 hours. So you'd need somebody else out of it. Or in some way having another way to get around this.
Does anyone in the party know plane shift? Behold
yes.
does.
I do.
Behold does? This is
Behold?
news?
Wait, did I say behold? Oh.
You said behold. I was like, behold knows plane shift?
Plane shift, Chris?
Yeah, he's just
Okay.
gonna
Didn't you realise it's the one barbarian spell they can cast while raging?
Is that? It's like, oh, monks can cast astral projection at high levels. Barbarians just get to cut planes open and walk through.
They cut planes open with sheer anger. Yes.
I swear to God, that was actually a thing from Dragon Ball. There's like a character who can get so mad he just screams the planes between dimensions down.
Okay, to be quite fair, Dragon Ball's going on for so long. Everything's happened in
yeah.
Dragon Ball.
Now, out of curiosity,
Mhm.
what for the sake of what Elsyan was talking about, what about plane shifts would help?
Well, Demiplane takes us into a different plane of existence. No, it wouldn't help. It'd just spit us out somewhere random in the material plane.
Or wherever the tuning fork is actually
Attuned to. Fair enough. Just spitballing ideas. I think we've had this conversation
we would
many
have no
times
way
before.
to communicate with the second group when is the right time.
Yeah. Just for clarification, you can go into it. Obviously, you'd be able to go into a demiplane, then take a long rest, then go from there. It is also theoretically possible to plane shift into a demiplane. Remember, if you know the contents of the demiplane, you can have somebody else cast demiplane to put you in there. You know a few people who can cast demiplane. Abod is one of them.
Yeah,
The only problem is that then means Queglod's got to try and figure out how to get to the city from there, because Abod can't leave.
Yeah, she needs me to teleport us there.
So you need to fight. So if you need someone to use demiplane, and I believe Bern, you don't know anyone within the Sanguine Sun that can, because you're the highest level caster there at the moment. Because the
I
rest of
assume
them
we
are all
can
martial.
teleport the real abbot to the place, him using that on us, and then him teleporting back.
You need to disturb the real abbot, which you know is doing some important work for the organization at the moment. But I mean, saying that you have something that's going to complete their main goal might mean that he can postpone doing it. So
Yeah, I mean, it would be for like a tiny amount of time.
It's on the wizard spell list, but that would require Elsyan using up his 8th level spell slot, and he, unlike me, actually has other useful things to use with that.
Yeah, a potion working for 1 hour
I
doesn't
mean,
really
it's illusory dragon, and that's it.
it's nothing
Fair.
to sniff at.
Yeah, fair.
if you even
And as
if
long as
we
I don't block
need-
up people's visions this time.
even if we got in, we'd still need to stay out of the pit fiend's vision at all times.
Which we simply can't guarantee.
Yeah.
Because you don't know how far that true sight goes. It
We
could
don't know
just
what the ceremony is going to be like.
Yeah, it could be a 10-foot area in front of it. It could be 300 feet out, like Devil's Sight. Or no,
So you need to like
120, I
avoid
believe, is
at all
Devil's Sight.
costs.
Yeah.
The scribe just the scribe just said he's gonna tell us when, and then we need to figure out how to get in, right?
The scribe.
The skin scribe.
The skin scribe wasn't going to tell you squat. He was going to absolve himself of all this, so he wasn't involved.
No. He like what he said, like because he had a plan as well, right?
That his plan was to sneak in and interrupt. To sneak in.
And interrupt the wedding. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was a suggestion, I should say.
Yes. Yeah. He never told you the specifics so that he wouldn't know anything.
Yeah.
And he said that the Plague Lord will communicate with
He's
you
just
on
gonna
how
inform
close
us
the wedding
when
is.
it happens.
No, the Plague Lord
And
was going to let you know when it happens.
Which
Which is why this was changed originally. Why it was mentioned last episode or last session that that it was strange because the Skin Scribe told you not the Plague Lord, which
Well, the
immediately
skin-
makes everything sus.
Oh, the skin scribe told us.
Yes, he was the one who cast Dream.
Fuck, this is all a bait, isn't it?
Why would you do that?
I mean, yeah, like, I mean, if the skin scribe is like in on this with the Prince of Blood, why would he simply not have just
Killed us.
murdered us there and then?
Maybe the
Is that
Prince of
something
Blood
different?
wants to. Maybe the Prince of Blood, or King of Blood, needs to know where that. Wants to know exactly where that axe is. Is my only thought. Was why he wouldn't instantly try to kill us.
Yeah, he might want to like imprison the axe.
Imprison the axe, or better yet, imprison Rook with the axe. Just because that way no one has to touch the axe.
There's no possibility that he needs the axe for something.
Well, he doesn't need the axe. He just wants it to be somewhere safe, so it doesn't hurt him.
Yeah, that makes the most sense. Yeah.
Because as far as I'm aware, isn't the axe the only thing that can actually kill him?
Yes.
Correct. If you kill him and drop him to 0 hit points and then get rid of his 2 death saving throws before Rook's axe isn't the thing which does either the dropping to 0 hit points or the taking out his death saving throws, then he will start regenerating at his home. And so he'll
Lovely.
come back.
Okay, so if Rook's axe is the thing that takes him to 0, he just dies?
If
No
the Rook's
saving
axe takes him to 0, he dies instantly. If Rook's axe, if you guys drop him to 0, he makes death saving throws until he succeeds or dies. If he succeeds, he falls unconscious. If he fails them both, he dies, and then he regenerates. So dropping him to 0 will still potentially cause him to die outright. It just means there's a difference between going unconscious and not. Still accounting for natural 1s and natural 20s. As you're kind of having this conversation, you watch as the other individual wanders back. I think I've found what you were looking for, grandmother. And hands over a tome. Thank you. She takes the book and kind of begins to look through it, kind of pulls open where the bookmark is, and you see a history tome of some form. She begins to read it, kind of using her finger, just gently going down the book at a fairly fast pace for a typical reader, kind of turning the page.
Finally, someone that can read at my pace.
So, this King of Blood you mentioned was previously unable to be killed due to lack of tools. You have those tools?
Yes.
It's an axe.
Looks at Rook.
Help.
That one?
There's no rock help.
Rook's not here.
Oh no, correct.
Oh, how the turntables!
How the bears are
Ooh.
They have met Rook, though, right? He
They
was
have
here
met Rook,
last time?
yes.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, Rook was here last time.
Yeah, he
believe
was, because he was
you would've
attacked
seen
by
it.
the
Mhm.
sad one and held in place
yeah.
during your long rest. As you were screaming, the rest of the party was just napping. Ah.
Okay, Sam is obviously having a bit of a brain fart. Is this the place where Sorcerer
Yeah.
came and died?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Good, okay. Just making sure I'm
Yeah.
not completely insane.
Yeah. She otherwise looks... Well, if that's the case... is there anything else we can do to help? Obviously, this is a direct problem with us, and Queglod, you've got your own tasks to do, but if there are things that need to be done, things that we could do to help.
There are a couple things that I thought of. Do you have anything that can assist with stopping an individual from coming back immediately?
Are we talking resurrection, or are we talking...
When he goes down, he immediately gets back up on full HP. On full health.
Regeneration usually has a countermeasure or weakness. Fire and acid for certain types of trolls, radiant and necrotic for others. If it doesn't have a damage weakness, then there won't be anything that can stop that. Unless you find some way to inflict damage to slow or stop regenerative effects.
Okay. And what about anything for, say, darkness?
There are some forms of powerful light. Daylight would be the best option I could offer, but outside of that I can't think of any.
Okay, I've got a question. Part of we need to stop this King of Blood from communicating to one of his lieutenants. At all.
I see.
The lieutenant is incredibly powerful, but bound to the Prince of Blood's orders. Do you have any ideas? Instant Faraday cage?
We have spell scrolls of silence. If that might work. Are we
may do something.
talking about fiends? Do they have basic forms of telepathy, do they not?
Sam knows, yes.
Is his second in command... Well, Elsyan knows a little bit about fiends because of the interest of what's happened and the research he's done. If that's the case, is this other one also one of telepathic origin?
Yeah.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah.
Why?
She just kind of sits there and thinks. There are some spells, but they tend not to take effect on such individuals. Powerful spells.
What spells?
I know of its existence, but I've never seen it used before. It withers one's mind, makes it weak and susceptible to certain effects. Feeble mind. It is a dangerous spell, but if effective, it should nullify all telepathic communication, all language entirely.
I unfortunately can't use it. I want to use it so badly.
You don't have 8th level spells, that's fine.
No, I don't.
No, not yet.
If I could, I'd so use it.
So Queglod can learn it. And
But
Sam
then that
can.
means she can't use demiplane.
What spell's this?
Feeble mind.
Feeble mind. You can learn it as well.
It will cut off language entirely.
Yeah.
So
Actually,
this
just
means-
double check.
So we have to use this on the Prince of Blood, I assume.
Or the skin scribe. Either one. The main problem is that once this happens, their intelligence and charisma drops to 1, but legendary saving throws.
Yeah.
So it would need to be something you'd have to burn through all of them before you cast this.
This is a case of we
Yeah.
burn our big spells on one of them as soon as we can. Would I have between now
I
and
would probably say this has to be on the Prince of Blood.
definitely, but Sam also. No, actually not going to say that. I know things that Elsyan really wouldn't, and would also spoil things for Avernus. So no. Chris, I'll tell you later. Right. Would I have time in between now and when do we think I would have time to learn Feeble Mind?
How many hours does it take per spell level? Is it 2 or 4?
Oh, it's not 4. It's 2, I believe.
I'm just asking for clarification's sake on this.
Let me double check.
Yeah.
If it's 2, it'll take 16 hours. So you do have time.
So he does have time, just means he has to spend the entire time doing that. She's otherwise kind of paused, looking around, kind of looking and waiting, kind of thinking. I'm not sure whether this would fall into your expertise, but there is another way to get through all of this. I'm not sure if you're accustomed to traveling to the ethereal plane.
Hey,
Not the aether.
hello.
Not the aether.
Okay.
The
Fuck, I know.
Oh, sorry. Elsyan pops up. I can blink.
The border ethereal is separated from this world.
Are you suggesting somehow I get him into the ethereal plane?
True sight can see into the ethereal plane, but nothing can interact with it. And nothing can affect you there. If you can otherwise cloak yourself in this divination magic in some way, you would be completely invisible to everything. The combination of the two of them.
Malcolm.
Etherealness.
Combination of what?
Malcolm perks his ears. We have the pearl.
Pearl?
I don't remember exactly what it
That's,
did.
Astral
that's
projection.
specifically astral projection. That sends you to the astral plane, not the
Oh, the
ethereal.
astral. Okay, I thought it was.
Yeah. Good shout, but wrong
God,
dimension.
God, Sudz, get your planes. Right. Okay.
Look,
just check
we
the
haven't done
amount of
full-
time. Okay, the amount of time it takes to the amount of time it takes to learn a spell. I believe. Okay. Yep. It's 2 hours and costs 50 GP for each level. Or
So, does,
just copying from one book to another is an hour and 10 gold.
Yeah.
would plane shift work to the ethereal plane?
No.
No.
Unfortunately, the border ethereal is separate from that.
Okay.
We kind of sit on the same physical location.
Yeah, it's just a separate kind of border to it.
So what spell would send us there then?
Etherealness, 7th level. Bards,
Can I-
clerics, sorcerers, warlocks, and wizards. The main thing to note is if it's cast at 8th level, you can target up to 3 willing creatures, including you.
3 including you, so it's you and 2
3
others.
including you, so you and 2 others. And if you cast
Three
it at...
spells are at 7th, yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
for each spell slot level higher.
And I assume you're in the same place, just in the ethereal.
Exactly, yeah. So if you were to cast
Yep.
this here, you could wander through everything, but you'd see stuff in the ethereal, and you wouldn't interact with things in the physical plane. If
That
they
could
Can we
were...
go through stuff, or no?
Yeah, so effectively what it would mean is that
So basically be ghosts, I assume.
if you effectively if you cast etherealness, you can otherwise travel through doors, you can move through them, but you can otherwise still mildly interact with physical structures, but you can just move through stuff which would be outside of the ethereal plane.
I'm
Um,
so glad we didn't fight those people now.
Which people?
Oh, I'm sorry for bringing this up, but it was the Thursday campaign where we were chasing down those 2 individuals, and the one cast the
Oh, the
stone
send them to the
sentiment.
ethereal.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
so glad we didn't fight them now.
Okay. So you can move up and down as well, okay.
Hmm.
They're basically ghosts.
Yeah, you're effectively ghosts. Yeah.
Etherealness was not one of the scrolls I picked up, unfortunately.
You can't
Nope.
be anything more than 60 feet away. Okay.
No. So effectively, this means that you'd be limited. But if one of you were to cast this on yourself, 7th level, drink that potion, you'd be completely immune to all effects of divination and true sight for that duration.
Okay, so I can learn this, but I need a level up. I can't play spells and-
Oh god, it means
No.
me again.
No. Remember.
Scrolls.
No. Remember, as a caster, you have the ability to swap out spells because the
Oh, spells as
modification
well?
of this. If you take a long rest, you can swap out a single spell.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, we're using the variant rules that were put in place.
Okay.
Is that Tasha's?
It was
I thought that
it was
was-
officialized in Tasha's. It was in the UA
I thought that
originally.
was just readying up different spells.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, okay, cool.
No.
Then I can learn this and cast it at 8th level on 3 of us.
Yeah, it was
Or-
readying up different spells for my own custom version because I said that you guys could learn a bunch of extra spells to add to your list and then just switch between them.
Yeah.
For the purposes of this, it was kind of a hobbled together UA regular PHB a compromise, but then they officialized it in Tasha's, so you can swap out.
Yeah,
every
no,
long rest.
because I have spells known, that's the thing, which
Yeah.
confused me.
I mean, it can be upcast to affect
Yeah,
3
3 of
people,
us.
but the potion would only affect 1.
Correct.
Yeah. So, and we can only see 60 foot.
Mm,
I mean, 60 foot's a long enough way for you to easily get your way around.
The only
I
issue
mean,
Yeah,
is
but we
just
don't
trying to
know
figure
the
out what to do.
sight of the Pit Lord.
so, how
So-
long does the ethereal thing last?
Huh?
How long does the ethereal thing last?
8
8
hours.
hours.
8 hours. So,
So I think we should use that to try and sneak in and somehow contact the guy, the Plague Lord.
Hmm.
See if he can hide us somewhere.
Plague Lord doesn't sound like a very pleasant name. Is that one of the ones
He's-
working for him?
He's his brother, but he wants him gone.
And you trust him?
About as far as we can throw him. With
As far as we
telekinesis.
could. Did we do the Zone of Truth stuff with him or no?
I believe we did.
You did, and he was willing
Yeah,
to
with the
comply.
Skin Scribe we did as well.
Pretty
With-
chill, but still.
Yeah. With his right hand man as well. Or not his right hand man. I guess it would be his.
No, the skin scribe was immune
Yeah.
to the effect.
Oh, he was immune.
Yeah. You detected that he rejected the effect, and it had no effect on him. But you did plenty of insight checks on him.
Yeah. We all know those could be bullshit.
This is true.
Well, it's
Just
difficult to
that
know.
one with 30 intelligence, yep.
I suppose this is
Yeah,
something we need to
I
have a
think
serious
the
conversation
Plague
about.
Lord is our safest bet to contact if we do get inside.
Mm.
Because he might have been ordered on the Skin Scribe to tell us to come there.
Well, even if we trust the skin scribe, we shouldn't be telling him anything.
No.
No, not telling him, just asking the Plague Lord if we could hide anywhere.
If you're going...
Exactly. Should be avoiding the skin scrub.
Huh?
Sorry to interrupt. If you're going with the etherealness, I mentioned it because we have a solution.
You do? Right, yes. Sorry.
She otherwise moves over to one of the chests and pulls out what looks to be 3 cases. We use these in extreme situations if we need to locate a portal to the shadow plane that's hidden within the mists. It's a lot easier to see when you're in the ethereal plane. It's much brighter.
How does it work?
These are oil of etherealness. They'll have the same effect for a shorter duration, and you'll need to spend time applying it to yourself. But it will do the same thing.
Okay, I've got a thought.
Oil of etherealness. Beads of this cloudy grey oil form on the outside of its container and quickly evaporate. The oil can cover a medium or smaller creature along with the equipment it is wearing or carrying. 1 additional vial is required for each size above medium. Applying the oil takes 10 minutes. The affected creature then gains the effect of the etherealness spell for 1 hour.
Oh boy. Can we end that sooner?
No. Well, actually,
So-
no. The etherealness spell states that you can end the
Yeah, you
effect
can use an
earlier.
action to cancel it.
Yeah, so you
Cool.
can use your action to exit.
So,
So we'd still have to go with. Unfortunately, if we do this plan, we'd still have to send in Queglod by herself.
I mean, we could go with the disguises, and then
But he can
When
see
we get-
through them.
yes, he can see through them if we're in the same place. If he can physically see us at all, he can't see through walls now, can he? What I'm suggesting is we use it to get through the city ourselves, the disguise, and then, when we get close, we apply these beads, and then we make our way in.
The mansion can't be seen from outside, right?
Elsyan can disguise it, but True Sight or Magic Sight will see it.
Okay.
It does give off enough of an aura to be detectable. So unless something has that, it won't be detected.
But only if it can directly see the area, or can it sense it if he's
There's
around?
there is
Say
a
I've got it in a-
single doorway.
Yeah, if they can see the doorway, then yes, they can.
Yeah, if they can see
So
the
if we
doorways, they
put
will.
it in a very obscure place, unless they're searching, they shouldn't be able to find
Yeah.
it.
Correct, yes.
And once the attack happens, they're not going to worry about searching inside a city where the attack isn't happening.
Correct.
But 1 or 2.
So if we can
Vaguely.
sneak in with Queglod, she demi-planes us out of there, and then we hide in your mansion until we attack.
until we attack, and then when we do attack, we apply these. Have an
Yeah.
hour, so have to be kind of close to the charge, but don't have to worry about being too close. And then we fuck about with the wedding until the illness wears off, or do we just all cut it off at the same time? Try to get that shock and awe aspect going in.
Keep in mind these will only affect 1 person each.
Yes.
So you'd need other ways of using the etherealness abilities. I
Well,
don't
how
know
many
whether
do they
that's
have?
within your capability. 3. So that will affect 1 person each for an hour.
How many are we?
6.
6.
Actually, no,
Oh, 3.
7, because you include Shattercrest, unless you're leaving Shattercrest at home, which I will assume you are for the purposes of Baby Dragon at Big Boss Fight isn't a good idea.
Yeah, I think so.
I was going to, before we even go and do the thing, I was going to use a 7th level spell slot to put him in the thing.
Oh, put him in the menagerie.
Well, if that's the case, if 3 people could use that, and then I can use this, I can use the 8th level version of the spell to make the other 3 into etherealness,
And then that plan can work.
and then
We ha-
try and
Yeah.
we need
As
to
long as
look.
we don't
Yeah, and then
go
it's,
too close to the pit fiend. While
yeah,
we're
when that
fighting.
happens, we need to find where the wedding is, and then try not to
Well-
get affected of the pit wind.
I
Did
can't
you
imagine
count
we're going
Nagriel
to
in that?
see too much. Ooh.
Oh, that's true. You're bringing Nagriel with you, so need 7.
That's-
It's okay, I can throw him in there too. Nice.
Can
That unfortunately does scupper your plans because you'd be 1 short. Good call, Rook. I know you're not there, but it's good to mention it now. This is technically a party plan, so.
Well, I couldn't count how many people were in it because I wasn't looking, but it's like 6 seems 5. Yeah.
Can the magnificent Mansionor be moved?
No.
Ah.
It's worth a shout, but no, I can't be moved out with me casting the spell. I don't have the spell slots for that. I mean, I physically do, but I don't want to have the
Is
spell slots
Queglod's
for it.
thing like an 8th level spell once per day, or is it just demi-plate once per day?
Just demi-plane
Yes.
once per day.
Demi-plane once per day.
Well, I guess we can have him hide in there and then demi-plane him in.
If you're going to use that, wouldn't all of you want to be in there?
Well, there's
Because
of
if
course
you
as
only need
mentioned
to
before-
use, you only have one of the potions for the true, non-detectable nature of this,
Yeah, so I
and it
guess
means you'd
one
only
of
need one oil as well. Not trying to cut you short of the number of these you'll need, but if Queglod's able to be near the city for when it begins, that will give her an hour to traverse to the location. Granted, in the ethereal plane you do move slower, but if you're hurrying, it should feel around the same.
It's only slower if she goes up and down, I think.
Either way, there are
Yeah.
stairs. She's small.
Yeah, that's true.
So the plan is we
So I think
get
it's
outside of the city, and then I open the demi-plane and you all hide inside. We rest. So this would need to all be done before the day before.
So I think you need to etherealize with one of them,
Mm-hmm.
get inside the city with us inside the demi-plane, rest up.
Oh, we can't go. We're not going to go into the city together and then
I
hop
mean-
into the demi-plane there? Because I thought we only really needed to do it to actually get into the ceremony.
Well,
Okay.
we'd have if we want to cut it off during the wedding. I think this would be it's the better option.
I think
Just
the
because-
ethereal version is just easier.
Yeah,
Plus,
that's what I'm saying. But we don't need you to be in the demi-plane as Queglod's going into the city. We can go into the city together, then go into the demi-plane.
It all depends on
We-
we
but we
have
need
to,
multiple uses of the etherealness.
yeah. We also have to keep in mind that there is a possibility of the fact that the pit fiend might be at the entrance.
And if it comes to that, then it comes to that.
Yeah.
We can't sit here and try to plan for every thing. What I'm thinking is because
I think we want to have Queglod have us in the demi-plane with demi-plane ready to be cast.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
she
So I
won't
think
be
we
able to get
want
us
to be
out.
inside the demi-plane when she goes in the city, so she can get us out anytime.
I think what Sam's getting at,
what I'm getting at is we don't need to be in the demi-plane to get into the city. We can use the disguise, the original disguise plan to get into the city.
Yeah, but I'm saying the ethereal plan has like less
yeah.
less of a way of us getting found out, because then we don't need to interact with anything.
So just to clarify what Sam's saying here, correct me if I'm wrong, please do.
I will.
The general nature would be get into the city with the disguises, find a place to settle down, cast Magnificent Mansion. You all go into the demi-plane. Queglod stays in the mansion. Mansion leaves she leaves the mansion after taking a full rest, has the etherealness cast on her, uses the potion, makes her way to the destination, casts demi-plane, fight begins.
That's
Have
the
I
thing.
missed anything on that?
I
general
don't
rule?
think you have. In fact, you've
I
added in
understood
the.
all that. I'm just saying that using the ethereal one ball of ethereal to get us into the city has we don't need to interact with anything. with
The
The
only
thing
issue with
is-
that is that
Go
then
on.
Queglod has to then sleep without the mansion because Elsyan can't be there.
No.
therefore-
What I'm
okay.
saying is we go the day before inside the demi-plane. Then the next day after she has it ready, she goes in the city, gets us out, we go in the mansion, and then she gets another... Oh no, she can still use it again. Fuck. First to go in.
I think what you're doing, Infernal, is you're
No,
trying to complicate it.
Yeah, we need a second use of the demi-plane there.
I think what we do is we sneak into the city. It will be with how long does seeming last again? It lasts
8
quite a while.
hours.
8 hours.
It lasts 8 hours. That's plenty of time to I can imagine
Yeah,
we'll be able to
I
see a
was just
pit
thinking-
fiend from a distance.
No, I was just thinking of us not having to interact with anything at all.
I get that. But to be quite fair, if we find a large enough crowd to move in with, because I can't imagine. Although, whether there will be a large crowd moving in or out, I don't know.
Taratan swarm in the millions, depending on how big this city is. Depends on the size of the swarms.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to be the sort of city that stops at the gate and checks every individual coming in.
Yeah, but we're also not the same Terratan as them. We're going.
We're not Taratan with Plague Lord stuff, but they know the Plague Lord stuff. They're not going to mess with us. Because if you're a Taratan guard, are you going to mess with these guys? Are the bodyguards to the King of Blood's brother?
Yeah, I guess the King of Blood doesn't know how many stuff his brother has, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, the idea is for us to arrive at the same time as the Plague Lord, right?
Yeah. So move in.
Oh yeah, because he's not there yet.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right.
So
But he's gonna get teleported back in there, isn't he?
The question is, yeah, that's the thing. Don't really know exactly.
Can we use sending on a Plague Lord?
You can.
Yes, we can by choice. But does anyone here have?
Yeah, I'm just saying. So, I guess we'd want to go where he is, so we can be with him, so we get taken as well.
We just have to try and.
I assume the skin scrap doesn't have permanent true sight, Chris?
You don't know. You never asked.
We don't know. We don't. I think the less we know, the better. To be honest.
The main thing that you know about the Skin-Scribe is that he is a font of magic. The effects that he has far outweighs anything you've ever seen before. The fact that you know how he is that magical, and the fact that if you knew that he was your enemy in this situation, yes, he could have snuffed you guys out with a moment's notice, if he needed to, back when you met him. Yes, there was a moment of thinking, yeah, maybe he couldn't have moved the axe, but you've seen some individuals wield it without repercussions. It's not impossible.
If the Skin Scribe acts, that's a lost state. We've lost. Acts against us on the orders of the Prince of Blood.
Well,
depending on the orders.
That's a whole problem in and of itself, because the whole the whole feeble mind plan.
It's not going to work. If we cast on Skin Scribe, it's not reliable. It's not reliable, but it's possible, and it's more solid than the other things we've got, because we can't stop the telepathy. I've got no way to stop the telepathy that they both inevitably have.
Yeah, but we would need to deplete all of his legendary saves, and then use Feeble Mind on him before he thinks to go, oh, okay, well, I should just get my one guy who can solve all of this immediately. And even if we do all that correctly, he might just pass the save anyway on Feeble Mind.
Fair point.
That being said, we don't... Feeble Mind is the only plan we have.
I mean, did we discuss of using banishment on the Skin Scribe before he's ordered? Because he can choose to fail if he wants.
We did think of that, didn't we?
Because he's technically not trying to kill us.
He's technically not trying to kill you. However, it was based on his last order. If his last order was to stay by his side, it would have no effect. If the order was to kill you guys, he would do everything in his power to resist and work in that order.
Yeah.
It depends on the nature of the order. If the order was to go over there and banishment was cast, he'd still resist the effect. It would need a very specific, very precise order for it to work.
As far as I can tell, he's effectively the absolute extreme that devils can be when it comes to orders and deals, if that were.
Yeah. When it goes to that state, he has to follow the order effectively to the letter, but he gets the interpretation, but he has to follow it still.
Yeah.
I know I'm not there, but What happens if he was in the ethereal thing? Like, can the telepathic reach that?
Yes.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay.
Actually,
So we
does
can't break
hold
out
on.
and
No.
start-
That asks the
Oh,
question.
oh.
Can
Telepathy
telepathy
doesn't go
cross
across
planes?
planes. No, it doesn't.
Telepathic
Let me-
bond is what I'm looking for.
Vary's telepathic bond.
Rary's telepathic bond is 6th level, I believe.
My argument would be then when we get out of the plane, we all start rubbing the skin scribe like Turkish wrestler and
Exactly.
to the up to the flame of him.
The
depends on
communication
it.
is possible over any distance, though it can't extend to other planes of existence.
Yeah,
That's telepathic bond.
The thing is that it depends on his order as well. If he was ordered to stay there, he can use
Yep.
an action to cancel it.
Yeah, it depends on the
Mhm.
order that we don't know, so we can't really plan for it. We have a number of plans. We try the banishment first. If not, we go to plan B, which is the Feeble Mind.
Yeah.
On the Prince of Blood.
Need to burn his stuff though.
I know we need to burn his stuff, but that's just what we'll have to do.
Yeah, so if we're going in with the Plague Lord, should we not just go to him now and get taken by the Skin Scribe when he gets him?
Not a bad shout.
Because we have no idea when the Plague Lord was gonna get taken in.
Said a couple days. 2. This is day 1 of those 2.
Yeah, we also don't know how, because if he's getting teleported into the middle of the city, and then suddenly,
The Plague Lord is there.
like a few
Or the
hours
pit-
later, all his bodyguards turn up outside. Whereas if he just gets a message like "come here," and then goes under his own power and has a bunch of bodyguards with him, that's all fine.
Yeah, I mean, he did say go get him in a while, or like in a couple of days. So I'd assume go get him would mean teleport.
The specific wording was summon him in a couple of days.
True.
So that could be anything from an actual summoning with using spells and shit to, hey, here's your letter. Can you come visit us? Thank you. Obviously, less
The
polite.
Skin Scribe gets to choose how
He interprets the orders.
that order is being interpreted. So, if he is acting favorably to us, he obviously doesn't know our exact plan, but
He would want him to go through the front door.
yeah, obviously if he's not acting favorably, I don't.
I
Like,
think
there's
we
no
have
reason
Sasha.
to.
I think we have Sasha message the Plague Lord to try and go through the front door.
Because if we can go through the
Yeah.
front door being left
Yeah, we
fairly...
can win with him.
Isn't he getting in touch anyway? Because he needs.
He's getting in
was
touch
gonna
with me, I
send-
believe it's tonight with the
With the
dream.
Yeah, with Dream to let you know what exactly is happening, so you can't sleep inside of your mansion.
Yeah, I can't. But
Does Dream
also,
affect anything?
It can't cross planes.
well,
So
also
we
just
need
will I be able to talk to him in the dream?
The nature of Dream, I believe, is the delivering of a message, and they can hear the response. Outside of that, the nature of the message, I believe, is static. I'm going to double check.
I know dream. The spell shapes. This spell shapes a creature's dreams. Choose a creature known to you as the target of the spell. The target must be on the same plane of existence with you. Creatures that don't sleep, such as elves, can't be contacted by the spell.
I'm making some small tweaks with that because
Thank you.
Because in the event you are willing to accept this as a dream,
Yeah.
so I'm allowing
You
it.
you or a willing creature you touch and enter a trance state. Oh, wonderful. Oh wait, yes, a touch. You can
Yeah.
make someone else do the message.
Should we have Nagriel and someone else inside Demiplane then beforehand? Because I don't
Just
know
leave him
how-
in there
What
like a
I really
Pokeball.
don't want to risk is everything going tits up, Queglod dying, and I've got 2 people lost in the astral sea forever.
I just die of starvation.
Just like, well, this is it now, and just dying, and the only thing that will know that they're dead is a hungry astral dreadnought.
Oh my word.
Yeah, I just don't want it to be suspicious of how many we're entering with the Plague Lord.
Campaign
We're-
2
we're
goes
walking
spell
in with the
jamming and
brother-
find some corpses
yeah.
just floating
We're
in
walking.
space.
Yeah, we're walking in. We're going in with the Prince of Blood's brother. I think he can get away with as many bodyguards as he likes.
Yeah, we just need to hope that, his pit fiend isn't there when we walk in.
Well, yes, okay, but damn stupid pit fiend. Let's face it. This is gonna go tits up no matter what happens. We're gonna make this plan. We're gonna end up just bumping into the King of Blood in the middle of the road one day and going, "Wait a minute,
I know.
wait a minute, you look familiar." No, natural one on the deception. You're the Dawn Marshals. Yeah. Oh fuck.
Oh
Skin
man.
scribes, burn them all. Shit.
Yes, I think we messaged
Burn
the...
specifically infers fire damage. There are no ninth. Oh no, there is Meteor Storm. Never mind.
Yeah, what were you gonna say, bud? What were you gonna... Really? You're gonna hit me with the Meteor Swarm doesn't exist?
I was gonna hit you with there are
120
no.
damage is a minimum.
I was just gonna. No, it's fine. 40 is the minimum.
Yes, I know it is.
Yeah,
but
so
let's
I
face
think
it,
we
you never
messaged
know
the...
what
Or we message the Plague Lord and tell him to go through the front entrance so we can join up with him.
Again, we can do this through the dream.
Oh, we can talk to him in the dream?
Let
Yeah.
me,
The target is
Only
asleep, the
message us in the
appears
dream.
target's dreams and can converse with the target as long as it remains asleep
Aha.
through the
Yeah.
duration of the spell.
Yep.
So
It's
I
only,
know
it's only if you're doing the
Back.
hostile version.
I thought it was just one way.
No, it goes both ways. So
You can hang out all night.
Okay, that's fine.
yeah.
Don't even take exhaustion. It's great.
Oh god. All night
Wait
gaming
a minute.
sessions
Wait a minute.
while sleeping.
Oh,
Can you-
yes.
Oh,
Can you
that's
make...
post-canon.
Yeah, can he learn spells on Elsyan while he's sleeping?
Ooh.
If someone casts Dream on him?
He won't have the materials in the dream, unfortunately.
Yeah, but there's going to be plenty of the learning of a spell that doesn't use materials, right? Sam says, trying to get somewhere with this.
I mean, the spell
Chris is
shapes the
contemplating
creature's
this. I will say
dreams.
this: if you send him ascending beforehand to let him know that you want to have paper and ink as part of your components, I will say that you will be able. You'll have to roll a d20 when you get there, for when you start learning the spell. But all the time you are within the dream, I will allow it. But
Nice.
you'll need to no. You'll only be able to do one spell.
I mean,
Oh,
would it be one spell that I've got to be able to do within the dream entirely?
No, you don't have to complete it within the dream, but you have to complete the majority
I mean,
of it within.
the
or
messenger
you
can
can only
shape the
start doing one.
environment and create objects and other stuff.
Yeah. So in other words, he can create a
So yeah, I just need
chalkboard
to let
so
him
that
know
he
that
can
this is what I
start
want.
drawing this stuff out and kind of planning and figuring out how it works ultimately. But then he also needs to, from that, he will then need to figure out. He'll then otherwise leave and then need to redo some of it. So he'll be able to cut time off on a successful
I
save.
guess. Oh, that's fine. That
But-
works.
Won't change the
and
gold
assume-
cost, and it will just
But yeah,
take some time away.
let's face it. To be quite fair, we don't even yet have a way for me to learn Feeble Mind.
No, you need the spell scroll for that still.
I don't have the spell scroll for it. We're not going to be able to hit up Oregon again, are we?
Oregon at that high level again was restricted, and a spell of that a spell of that level probably cost anywhere between 15,000 to 20,000 gold. Given the if they have it.
Yes. So we don't. So really, the Feeble Mind thing is a complete moot point anyway.
It was a moot point, but it was something to mention in the event that one of you could learn it.
I was so close to picking that one.
Which would be Malcom, but Malcom is
But
more
Malcolm, unfortunately, because
the
of
move.
the 2 levels in Monk, which makes him nigh invincible in Dragon form, which is a good trade-off. Invincibility for
Invincibility.
for for not being able to cast 8th level is not bad. Because that's a 9th level spell.
Yeah. Anyway. Okay. Fine. So.
So we talk to the guy and we tell him to go through the front door so we can join up with him.
So we need. So let me just
And
make it.
have his help, like hiding us so we can actually get ready.
Plague Lord.
So, yeah, keep us out of the pit fiends.
Okay. So X.
Do we want to do this before we close so that you don't forget, or do you want to write down notes and we'll do it
I
the
am
next
writing
time?
down now.
Yeah,
so
let's write this
go-
down. Like,
So go through front door.
What do you have written down?
I'm just writing down now. So currently I've got go through front door.
Yeah, with the Plague Lords. Have him take us somewhere out of the Pit's Fiend's vision at all times.
Help us stay out of the Pit Fiend's vision.
Yeah.
As much as possible. At all times, yeah.
Then we go inside the demi-plane, I assume, take rest, and then have Queglod. Actually,
it's mansion, demi-plane.
Yeah, we set up the mansion.
yeah,
Then I put you all in the demi-plane, sleep in the mansion.
mansion ends, you get out of it,
Mm-hmm.
and then you etherealize yourself and find the wedding.
Demi-plane.
Yeah. So the timing on this is going to be close then.
It's going to be close, but I reckon we can do it. And let's face it, Queglod is the competent one.
Yeah, we just need to figure out like 9 hours ahead of the.
Also, we should ask the Plague Lord if he thinks it's gonna be suspicious if his guards are not there during the wedding.
Here's the thing you also need to keep in mind. You also said to the Sanguine Sun that you would be finding their entrance to go in, and you still need to go there to take a look over the map and decide how you're entering. So you still have that on your table, along with having the wedding which you intended to have.
To be honest, the wedding, as much as I want it,
I think
Not as
we're gonna
important
pass
as-
up on that one.
Yeah, because if
I think we might have to. I think time's too tight right now.
if it is 3 days, this is your first day used after you get back and all the smithing is done. You'll then go immediately into day 2, and then that will be key to what you're doing, because the moment
Yeah,
you
I
take a
think
long rest, day 3 begins,
day-
which is when you're going to be having to have the action take place.
Yeah, day 2 is I'm teleporting us to the fucking entrance and we're getting taken there.
Right then. Well,
Right.
And we're gonna hide near the entrance of the actual city.
Well.
So when we see the Plague Lord, we can group up with them.
well, I can't say enough news. Ibuprofen works well.
Good. I need to be heading off now.
Yep, that's fine. So, while
Okay,
our
we've
party
got
proceeds to
broad strokes of the plan.
complete their broad strokes of the plan, and otherwise begins to prepare for the oncoming sets of this adventurous fight and planning ahead on what comes next, overcoming various obstacles and acquiring what they can. That is where we will end for tonight. And I think what I'll do is I'll catch up with Rook during the week to go through anything regarding talks with Gabby and any other individuals that you wish to meet.
Yeah,
And then I
that's
will do the
fine.
smithing at the beginning of next session when the party returns to Adamanthia. Okay. So, for the session, thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Bye.